Okay. Here we are again. Sorry, I got lost in the woods for a week. You see, the treasure hunt looked so interesting, I decided to try it myself in real life. It didn't work. Oh, God. If you hear a noise in the background that wasn't there before, we got the air conditioner installed. I'm going to need it because it's been pretty warm in here before that, and it's only going to get hotter for the next couple of months, basically. So that's what that noise is. It probably isn't that loud. I've had it on the mic in the past, like on for the whole stream, and it hasn't been that loud in the background, so shouldn't be this time either. I guess we'll see. And the sails are catching wind. Captain, the sails are repaired. Shall we set off? For those of you that weren't here last summer, the air conditioner that I have, the brackets do not fit in the window, so there's a bunch of holes. And those holes allow bugs to get into my room. And it's really annoying because I don't want them sitting in my room while I'm trying to sleep and just generally being annoying and flying on my face and flying down my throat and doing all that other crap. So one solution could be to get a new air conditioner, but I don't have the money for that. Another solution could be just to seal up all of the holes with tape. But a far more fun and creative solution is to cut panels of trash bag. Oh God, where's this going? To cut panels of trash bag and hang them up over the holes and then seal them with tape. Because, why is that more fun? Because then when the air conditioner turns on, the trash bags catch the wind from the air conditioner and they look like sails. So if I say the sails are catching wind, that's what I'm referring to. Of course, the trouble is that now I can't really hear the television all that well because the, background noise is background noising. But it's fine because this isn't a game with voice acting in it, and I've already heard all the music before. So if anything else, this was the perfect game to return to get used to the air conditioner because, well, it doesn't have anything in it that I could miss out on as a result of having a loud motor in the background. And again, I'm sure for all of you, it's not particularly loud. But for me, it's a little louder than normal. I'm used to the dead silence of me and all the predators out in the middle of the wilderness, you see. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Pokemon Violet, the stream edition. I was off for a week of streaming because I was on vacation, went hiking. It was fun. I'd do it again at some point when I have the money to do it. But for now, we're back doing this because this is free by comparison. I didn't do anything particularly substantial with the main party. I did a couple of things with the party that never was and a couple of other things. Nothing really catching Pokemon-wise, but I trained up the party that never was because I'm planning on using them and one other team for something in the post-game because there's like a post-game thing that you can do in this game. I'm not really sure if definitely not gonna complete all the teacher's quests because I just can't do that without unlocking all the really high-level raids, and I'm not gonna do that. But there's a post-game thing. It's not like a battle tower thing, but I guess it's as close as this game gets to a battle tower because it doesn't have one that you can do in the post-game. So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna use. My goal is to use all three, well, both of the teams this team, first of all, the team over here that I'm raising for the actual game, the team that never was, and one other team, and I'm going to beat that Battle Tower-like thing in the post-game, and that's like my end-of-game goal. So we'll worry about that when we get to the post-game. I'll do that stuff off-screen. I did a little bit of that while I was on vacation when I was all energied out from having hiked all day and was back in the hotel room. I did not do any camping. I'm not that hardcore. I had a hotel room. But, yeah, so I was just all energied out in the hotel room, just said, yeah, I'll just do a little bit of stuff off screen and get that done. So I guess that's cool. Anyway, I'm meeting you back here in Alfornada. because this is where the 7th gym badge is at, and I'm just gonna wander around town. There's a few things to grab. I don't think there's anything particularly important here. Most of this stuff is just kind of crappy stuff. You cannot interact with these Squawkabilly, unfortunately. They are not real. That Slowpoke seems to be popping in and out of reality like some kind of dimensional traveler. Here's an actual light clay without you having to buy one. I probably should have just come over here and gotten that. Like, honestly, I probably should have just looked that up rather than buying it, but I didn't do that when I bought it for Magneton, so that's okay. No big deal, right? It's not like I don't have any money, so... Here's another delivery garage. I don't know what this... Okay, this is another one for Delibird Presents, but it's up here in the middle of the mountains, and the only way in here, unless you have the ability to climb, is to go through these tunnels that lead out here-ish, or... No, hang on. Here. Okay, so there is a road, at least, that leads out to this one, because it goes this way up through the mountains and then back down here to Cascarafa, but again... There's no road through the desert, so they'd have to just off-road trek it, I guess, through the desert, go all the way this way, come off from Castle Royale Lake, and then go here, and then go all the way out here if they're going to east. I don't know. It's a geography thing. There's just weird geography going on in this game, and I don't... That's what I'm saying. It's so inconvenient. I mean, I guess so. I've got a fancy high-tech Cyclozar, but, you know. You may have noticed in the background already, I didn't describe it, but there is some symbols on the sides of... This is the battle arena. It's actually at the top there. And if you played Gen 1, you'll know that these are the symbols of, well, the Pokemon that were available in Gen 1. They're sprites on the status menu. And I mean, it's... I don't know if I should feel like, wow, nostalgia, but... It just seems a little out of place. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird about that. That one lady talking about so inconvenient is probably the most interactive I'll ever be with NPCs in this game, because, like, this guy's standing in front of the gym, this hooligan is standing in front of the gym, like, I just want one glimpse. And I want to ask him, what one glimpse of what exactly, sir? But if I stand all the way over here, I can't talk to him, so I have to get closer. Then it turns out I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to the Grumpig behind him through his body. So, I just... If you've wondered why I don't really interact with NPCs in this game, they don't really do much. And actually, there's another thing that I'll talk about in a second when we go into the gym, because there's more to it than they just don't do much. Oh, good, focus miss. Definitely what I want. Extra small experience candies at this point in the game seems like a punch in the face, but you know what? It's fine. And behind the Psychic type gym is a bulk up TM. Okay. I mean, I think I know why. It's because the gym leader here is actually friends with somebody who would use a bulk up TM. But, I don't know. Whatever. Okay. So I have the team all set up and ready to go. I'm going to try to avoid using Shaylee for a little bit here in, like, the gym test part, because... Well, this is a Psychic type gym, and she is a Dark type with Moxie, and a Dark type Terra, well, a Dark Terra type, I should say. So, you already know the outcome of this battle, but I'm going to try to avoid using her for just a little bit, because I don't want her to get too over-leveled. So, thanks, I suppose. I'm surprised that you're up here. I figured you weren't going to be, because you don't like... exerting yourself. You don't like climbing the stairs at school, so why would you like climbing all the way up here? I guess you have to. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I feel like you literally have just been goading me into this, but... Sure, whatever. Yeah, I was gonna say, I already know how this goes. You challenge me to a fight, I beat you senseless, and then we move along with this. Because you don't get any of your character development until the post-game. Yay! See, now, you have a point there, but not for that reason. You have a point in terms of the environment because there could be a sandstorm, or there could be a random rainstorm, or there could be grassy terrain, for example. We'll probably see at least one of those in this next fight. But, like, effect on your balance and stuff? Like, what do you think this is? Mario Tennis? Did I already make that analogy? I forget, but, like, she says these things, and it's like, does that factor into the mechanics, or is that just something that the NPCs are saying, even though it will literally never affect anything that you do gameplay-wise? And if it doesn't affect what you're doing gameplay-wise, why are the NPCs talking about it like it will? I don't know. Don't ask questions, just consume video game. Well, I'll be honest with you, Nimona, it hasn't really changed too much, because this battle is pretty much second versus same as the first. Her team hasn't really changed since the the 5th badge. So, we're just going to do the same thing we did there, basically. Just, you know, wait for Lycanroc to take a move, because it's really fast. Drain away all that HP that it has and give it back to myself. Put up a Seed Sower, because why not? Just in case I flinched, then I get a little bit of, you know, recovery. And that's the gist of that one. Okay, Sligoo's coming out, so I guess we can toss out. See, it's nice when she sends out Sligoo before her Pawmo, because then I can just get Interceptor in on probably a Dragon Pulse. And then Interceptor can stay in and play rough both the Sligoo and the Pawmo. And just flat out annihilate the both of them. Because, you know, fairy typing, pretty good. What the hell is happening with the lighting over there? Sliding back and forth like some sort of screen door. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, there goes Sligoo. But I lied, it's not a Pawmo, it's a Pawmot. They added one letter to the end of it. And he's a little taller now. And he has the fighting typing as a Pawmo as well, right? I'm pretty sure he does. I'm pretty sure I said he did last time, so... Oh, you're a little faster than me this time. That's interesting. Shouldn't matter too much. As long as we hit one play rough, we should be fine. And after this Interceptor... Well, actually, I do want Interceptor to use Yawn on Meowscarada, because just switching in Toxtricity right away is a little iffy. So... we'll see how this goes. But, yeah, everybody's 45 now. So that's a good thing. Should make it a little easier to manage around the gym battle. Maybe I should have given Interceptor a Cherry Berry, but then I would have missed my play roughs, so, you know. Alright, so, now, will we get full Parrot? If we get full Parrot here, I don't think we can take a second Flower Trick, especially under grassy terrain, which is something I probably should have thought about. But we can pivot into Houseplant and do a little damage, I think, because it will prevent her from using Flower Trick. And probably if we pivot into Houseplant and we wait a little bit, we can wait for the grassy terrain to go away, and then we can, whatchamacallit, and then we can go into Toxtricity after that. Yeah, we can take that. Okay, we got the Yawn off. We're fine. And that pretty much just makes it so that, like, when I switch into Toxtricity, okay, so there goes the grass, so now it won't be quite as powerful. But basically, when I switch into Toxtricity now, I can take any one Flower Trick from her, because that's what she's going to go for. And then she'll fall asleep, and next turn I can just, well, blast her with a Terra-boosted Poison Jab, and GG. So, if you feel like this feels very familiar, it's because this is literally the strategy we used last time. Like I said, her team didn't really change much at all since the last fight, so I think she only has, like, what, her Gumi evolved, her Pawmo evolved, and that's about it. I think everybody else was where they are now. So that's something, I guess. Alright, Roxas, here's your Terra. Bring us home, please, because, frankly, this battle is boring me. Not that that's going to change very much, because I don't think any of the fights going forward are going to be particularly interesting for a little while. Not in this episode, anyway, unless we somehow manage to get through all of this gym, all of the school stuff, all of the next Team Star base, all of the school stuff after that, then the final gym, all of our finals, and then the final Team Star base, which requires me to actually think a smidgen. Only a smidgen, though, so... because I'm not going to do setup for the last one, but... not this battle. We're gonna be here for a little while. That's all I know. Alright, well, that's another one in the books. I mean, I'm just doing what is keeping us, you know, surviving out in the wilderness there. Okay, thanks. I forget if I have more of those in full restores or the other way around now, but it's really, whichever one it is, it's actually very strange, because usually you get barely any of those, and here she is giving me some right before the 7th badge. And then, well, she sends me back. And off we go. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to talk to this NPC, so. Ma'am, I have a Crocodile with the Moxie ability, and it's a Psychic Gym. I will be fine. I'm going to put Yukiko out in the front, because she hasn't really gotten a lot of screen time, but she will do pretty well against the Psychic types as well, thanks to her Ghost typing. She's also got good speed, so she should theoretically be able to keep ahead of most of them. I can bring in the captain if need be, but we should be able to handle this pretty good. So, one thought that I could have is that they're looking down at like where there's supposed to be a name tag or something, like my school ID wrapped around my neck, because they used to make us do that in school, like wrap our ID tag around our necks and like hang it down so they know who we are. But that's not part of your uniform. So again, like, what are you staring at, ma'am? My eyes are up here. And the gym leader here is named Tulip. And apparently we're exercising at a psychic gym. Emotional spectrum practice. ESP. You get it? Okay. Sure, I'll subject myself to that. Wait, woman wearing a black tracksuit. That sounds familiar. A bulk up TM behind the gym, and a woman in a black tracksuit in the practice area. I get the feeling I know who this person is. And if we pan the camera around, yeah, it's Miss Dendra. She's doing the gym test for this one. But what are you doing here? Don't you, like, have school stuff to do? Or is this your second job? Why do you have a second job? Don't you get paid pretty well at the school? Yeah, that's a fair question. Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. So you're just doing this pro bono for your friend? Wait, no, Miss Dendra, no. Wait, hold on. No! Miss Dendra, don't start with that. You didn't have to tell me that. It can't just be you're doing a favor for a friend? No, not never mind what happened. Miss Dendra, that's not a thing that friends do. Friends don't have battles where if you lose, you have to do whatever the other one says. That's a toxic relationship you're in. You need to get out of there. She's not a friend, she's using you. Stop it. Why are you selling that message to children? It's not a wonder your hair is tweaking. It's all of the pent-up rage that you have from your friend taking advantage of you. Anyway, emotional spectrum practice is Simon Says. You have to play Simon Says in this Pokemon game, and it is the simplest form of Simon Says you've ever seen. Like, genuinely, I have played an educational game in my lifetime, and it's a pretty good educational game, if I might say so myself, that is aiming at third graders, that requires you, and it has a Simon Says minigame in it, and you have to play it in order to even start playing the game, and it requires more brain power than this Simon Says game does. Feast your eyes. Stare in awe and agony at what this game describes as emotional spectrum practice. Now, once it goes through, I can tell you the first problem. The first problem is it runs at 10 frames per second. So that's a bit of a troubling thing to first have to stare at as the game chugs its way into saying start. So she'll show you an emotion, you press the button, your Pokemon reacts. You have like 5 seconds to press the button too, so plenty of time to like look at the thing, look over, not even know which button you're supposed to be pressing. Look over at the button prompts, and then just press them. Not, like I said, particularly engaging. I suppose it could be more interesting if you have some bizarre Pokemon here that you shouldn't have, but you can't switch your Pokemon in between the 2 rounds of this. Did I mention there's 2 rounds of this you have to do? And I think we're at the halfway point of the first round. I am angry. I don't have to recall something that made me angry. This minigame makes me angry. I am upset that I have to subject myself to this. It's either 10 or 12 inputs. I didn't count, honestly, but it really wasn't that difficult, Miss Dendra, but anyway, now make our Pokemon work a little harder. The rest of us are moving, I guess. I've done yoga that's more engaging than that. But although, you know what might actually be kind of interesting now that I think about it? Like, what if I did the actual, like, movements with the game? Like, what if I did them in real life with the game? Would that make this more interesting? I don't have I wouldn't be doing it on Facecam because I literally have the equivalent of FBI agents from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics watching my every move on social media from now until the day I die. But yeah, no, I feel like it might be more interesting if I do the actual, like, inputs while doing the stretch. I'm gonna do that for the next round because I genuinely, I want to see if that makes it more, like, interesting than what it is, because at the moment it's, you know, just input the button and then one hit KO. Like, I'm just trying to get into the thought process there, right? Like, what was the thought process behind having you play Simon Says that has 5 seconds to let you make an input? Was there a reason for the 5 seconds? Is it just because the game chugs when you do it? I can't figure it out. But I'm going to get up and I'm going to do the motions with the game and I'm going to see if it actually tires me out. So give me 1 moment. This will probably be nothing for all of you, but for me, this may be a workout. Let me go find out. Hang on. All right, here we go. You're making it easy on me so far, game. This feels like Pilates or something. It'd probably be easier if I turned the microphone a little bit so y'all could hear me doing this, but it would also probably be easier if I had the face cam, but I don't, so. I just stared at that old guy doing the angry thing in the background, and he's just stomping like Heihachi, getting really pissed off that his son keeps beating him in Tekken. That's really funny. I didn't see that before. Okay, well, I think that kind of actually makes it make a little more sense, because if that's aimed at a child, right? Like, let's say you have a 6-year-old playing that or something, right? Like, if you're 6 and you have to not only the game doesn't encourage you to get up and actually physically be active with Miss Dendra, but she is your battle studies teacher, which is like your PE teacher, basically. So if you get up and do the exercises with her while playing Simon Says with the button prompts, so you have to press the button and do the exercise at the same time, I could see that being... I don't want to give the game credit because it's still kind of stupid, but I could see that being engaging, and I use big bolded air quotes for small children to do that at the same time. It isn't particularly good as a workout though, because it's really short. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I only did 1/2. Maybe it would give me a little lactic acid. Sir, you're asking the wrong person. I do not have an exercise science minor to go with my nutrition major. I can tell you how to eat right while exercising, but if you're looking for exercise tips, you're asking the wrong person. And you know, I didn't really talk about it before, but are you guys sure you want to stand right next to the battlefield there? Like this girl and her Hatena? No. Hatarim, that's it. They're gonna get hurt if they keep standing there. But I think this guy was standing closer to the battlefield the last time, and, well, I guess he's fine. Alright, let's put that assault vest to good use. Might as well, right? So I don't get power gemmed to death. Nice thing about Power Gem, though, is no secondary effects for me to have to worry about. I can just tank the hit and then boop you on the nose. Oh, Psyshock. Well played. Clever girl. Have a Dark Pulse, friend. I wonder if he picked that move randomly, or if the game recognized that I had an Assault Vest just from the damage and calculated that. It probably, you know what it probably is it probably calculated that, yeah, Psyshock would do more damage. So it just did that. I really want to switch back to Yukiko on the anticipated high jump kick. I'm going to do it. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to do it. Because then he'll crash, hit himself for 50%, and then I can drain back all my health with Draining Kiss. Come on, do it. Yeah! Got it! I was like, this thing's going for high jump kick. There is no way it's not going for high jump kick. Now you give all that back. Thank you. Ah, yes, Pad, you're alive, you think? I mean, if you're dead, then I guess we're both dead, or we're both having the same weird dream. I don't know if I'd watch myself streaming in a dream. I feel like I'd get bored. How you doing? Welcome back. We're taking the 7th gym test at the moment. Before we fight the gym leader. I'm trying not to use Shaylee because she will do very well against a Psychic type gym leader because she is a Dark type with the Moxie ability. Why does Moxie exist? That is my question. It's very strong. Okay, I should be able to take one more of those. No, especially if you do that. Although you probably can take this Dark Pulse now with the +1 to your Spedia. Yeah. So maybe I should switch back to Yukiko. We could just Ice Beam, I think, and we should be fine. I probably could have switched into a physical attacker, and this would have been a little easier as well, but, you know, it's fine. Maybe. We'll see in a second. Ouch. It's a little not fine, but we'll be okay, I think. Yeah, we're fine. And Didi's a little tanky, but not that kind of tanky. Yeah, kids do grow pretty quick. Although, from my understanding now, they actually grow out first and then they grow up. Like, what happens with children and all the way through to adolescence is that they gain some weight because their biology actually tells them to eat more in anticipation of growth spurts. So if they start eating less than they used to and they don't clean their plate, you shouldn't tell them, well, clean your plate. You should just allow them to eat to certain amounts of fullness because their biology as children actually tells them when they're full. They don't have to think about it. They just naturally have a reflex of it. And if you tell them to clean their plate, that reflex gets destroyed. And then as adults, they may overeat and then gain weight they don't need to gain. So, well, if this happens and that happens, then we're happen. So will happen when it happens. I think that's how it happens. I mean, it sounds right in terms of how it happens, but if it happens a different way, then I'll happen to tell you. So, but yeah. So we got to go report our grade, but they don't heal you after ESP. So since they don't heal you, I'm gonna go. Am I gonna go heal? I guess I probably should. You know, I do have to heal, actually, because my Terra Orb's not charged. Oh, okay. The bush prevented me from riding Miraidon. Yeah, the Terra Orb's not charged because I used it in Nemona's fight. So, actually, she may have recharged it. I'm not sure. But, in any case, I'm going to go heal. And then we'll go fight the gym leader. And it will be not interesting in the slightest. So. Excuse me. Because Crocodile. That is all. You know, I probably... Here's the thing, right? I wasn't sure if I wanted to use Crocodile in this run. Its typing just fit the team really well, and it let me use Frostlass, which is another Pokemon that I enjoy using, but can never really use because it's an Ice and Ghost type, and neither of those types usually fit the teams very well. Well, Ghost types do, but Ice types usually not at all. But Crocodile's typing just really helped with... And Well-Baked Body on Interceptor just really helped put the team together. I was thinking about using Crocodile in Gen 5 instead, like when we play either Black and White 1 or Black and White 2. I don't know which one I'd use it in that game yet, but I was thinking about using it there instead. And honestly, it probably would have been better because Moxie is just such a good ability to waste on a game as easy as this. Oh well. It's fine. Let's go fight the gym leader. Oh, good. I was concerned I'd have to do that ESP again. Actually, I'm pretty sure you can do ESP again, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't remember what it gets you, but I'm not subjecting myself to that again, because I don't want to. So, let's just fight the gym leader and see how this goes. Okay, so we already know that she has a toxic relationship with Miss Dendra, which already puts me off to her immediately. Naturally beautiful? With that kind of makeup? Naturally beautiful? It's not natural, ma'am. You're literally padding your own beauty with artificial BS. Could be made from natural things, but you're processing it. Oh, good. Do you finally have time for me? Can I fit into your schedule? Hi. Gee, you don't say. Yeah, about Miss Dendra. I don't think I like the way that you're ordering her around. Friends don't do that to friends. No, quite frankly, I'm not very happy with you right now, and I'm going to let all of that out in this battle. So this is an interesting line, because your Pokemon can actually get dirty, quote-unquote, in this game. And there's a washing mechanic in the camping, like in the picnic system. You can wash your Pokemon, like lather them up with soap, wash them, and then let them dry. And that helps keep them clean. But when you have them healed at a Pokemon Center, they just get fully cleaned anyway. So what's the point of the washing? Is it just there to raise friendship, I guess? But, like, then why give an NPC a line about it? Because you're just going to heal your Pokemon at the Pokemon Center, and this line makes no sense. She probably says something else if they're dirty, but they're not dirty, so... Yeah, sure, but I think you're caking it on just a little too much there, lady. Alright, let's do this. She's got good form. She probably could be a bowler if she, you know, applied herself to anything other than being too busy to put me into her schedule. No makeup. Remove the makeup. Get the hell off my stage. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know why they did it like that, but I mean, whatever. It's not fine, but me complaining about it is not going to make them change it. They can't hear me, so I'm still going to complain, but I know when to stop, you know, because I'm wasting my breath. Do I need to Terrastallize right now? With this Pokemon? Probably not. I'm going to do it anyway. Why not? I mean, Gardevoir, I think, can be faster than me, and probably is going for a Fairy-type move, but oh well. What do I care? I have Moxie. We got Spunk! We got Chutzpah! And our Gardevoir is no longer in existence. Well, chalk one more up for Shaylee. Her kill count continues to rise. I might get Dazzling Gleamed here. Maybe I should have saved. No, because she still couldn't have done anything. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm faster than Mrs. Batra. That's surprising, but I'll take it. I mean, I would have lived one Dazzling Gleam. Crocodile has like base 115 HP or something like that. I have 158 HP at level 47. Like, that's ridiculous. Oh, Interceptor wants to learn Crunch now. He's seeing it just absolutely annihilate her, and he's like, oh, I'd like to learn it. Now, your moveset's good, Interceptor. Don't worry about it. So now, you can't get rid of me, ma'am. I'm going to make your life miserable until you stop making Miss Dendra's life miserable. Like, this was genuinely the point in the game where I actually got a little ingratiated to Miss Dendra, because she is currently suffering from a toxic relationship with this jackass of a woman. Now, you might be wondering, why am I crunching a fairy type? It's not very effective. Well, this is a psychic type gym leader, and they like to terrestrialize their Pokemon, so she literally just sealed her fate. You could have left it a fairy type and been fine, but the game requires you to terrestrialize the Pokemon, because that's what the AI says to do. So, take this mascara bottle and shove it. I would say GG Tulip, but quite frankly, I could have done that in my sleep. Good work, Shaylee. Put her in her place. I almost want to say, you know, it's a good thing I got strong enough, because then I can take people like you down a peg. Maybe I owe Nimona a thank you after all. Nah, I think that's going too far. Yes, she had an absolute squad wipe, because Crocodile with Moxie is atrociously strong. I mean, honestly, I think Crunch would have one-hit KO'd even without Moxie in every single one of those situations. We just probably would have had to Terra earlier. No, we would have KO'd Farigiraffe anyway, because we did normally. Gardevoir, I don't think we even needed the Terra, but the Terra felt right, so I just used it, so. Believe it, ma'am. I think it's a little late for that. I already broke you, so why would I want to go under your wing? Work on yourself a little. When is that going to happen? Is it before or after you take advantage of someone who's supposedly your friend? Okay, and again, I'll give her credit where credit's due. Making a pose like that in platform heels is not going to be an easy thing to do. Don't stop believing. So now we can catch Pokemon up to level 55 before they will disobey us, which is like 7 levels above the next gym's level cap. I'll talk about that in just a second, because you may have noticed our Pokemon are like 46 and 47 right now. Well, the next gym, actually I'll just say it right now, the next gym the level cap is 48, so we might need to fight like 6 or 7 trainers between now and then we'll be ready for the 8th gym. And after that, it's like, okay, well, now what do I do between now and the Elite Four? I guess just train until I make it to the Elite Four's level cap of 58. Anyway, for beating her, we get the last TM that I think I need in the entire game. Is that right? No, I think I need the one from the 8th gym as well, although I can make that one, but just so I get a freebie. We couldn't make this one, though. Psychic. The TM for Psychic. We're going to teach that to Yukiko, because that'll finish out her coverage moves. Draining Kiss does pretty good, but we've already got, excuse me, a Fairy type move and Interceptor, so we don't have a Psychic type move. This will cover for that. I wasn't planning on it, but okay, fair enough. You were sweating? That made you sweat. 4 one-hit KOs made you sweat. Oh, okay, so you had literally 5 minutes to give me. Alright, so notes for myself. If I ever get involved with administrative work with the Elite Four in this region, she is the first person getting chopped. Get her the hell out of here. She is way too busy to be a gym leader. Hold on to that feeling. Fire. Hey, Ricka, what's up? Well, that one was personal, so I would hope it wasn't giving me trouble. Yeah, who's the kid? I mean, I guess I am a kid, but, you know, the kiddier kid. I don't know if I'm that good, but I think she's talking me up, kid. So this is Poppy, huh? Okay. Well, I'm sure your Pokemon are pretty strong. Or even really strong. I don't know, I haven't seen them yet. Wait, no, hang on. You're like 4. What do you mean you're one of the Elite Four? Do you get a wage? Does your wage go to your parents, or do you get it? If you get it, what do you use it for? If it goes to your parents, are they using the money for, like, not the purposes of... There's too many questions! I have too many questions! Why is she an Elite Four member, and what... The economics here, the logistics of this are not adding up. How strong is she? And what the... It talks! What is that? Well, I'm sure I'll get to see him at some point. Well, I'll see you there then. It won't be too long. It actually might be a little bit, though, because... Yeah, I'll try not to keep her waiting. Like I said, it may be a little while, though, because we have to get up to 58, and... Well, we're currently 47, which is pretty substantial, because, again, the next gym is 48, but... The space between the last gym and the Elite Four is wide. Substantial, even. But yeah, we don't need that much experience to get to the point where we're ready to challenge the next gym. We, 53, 6,000, 6,000, 1,800, 56. So we need at most 6,700 experience, and we're ready to challenge the next gym already. So that's not much. Oh, here's what I was going to say. So we talked to this NPC before the gym, and she said, the gym's really tough. Are you sure you're going to be okay? And now, she has not changed her dialogue, even though I've beaten the gym. How much attention did you think I'd be paying here, game? Because I'm jotting all of this down. You will receive an angry, well, not an angry, but an irate note at the end of all of this as a result of your lack of attention to detail. But, yeah, so, as you may have seen, though, there are new classes available to take. The next classes that we're going to go take in about 2 seconds here were the last ones available until we beat the 7th gym. Once you beat the 7th gym, you can take the final class and the final exams. So my plan of action is to go take classes for probably the next 40 minutes, go fight a Team Starbase for approximately 25 minutes, then go take more classes for 40 more minutes, and after that, if we have any time, then we'll go start working on getting ready for the 8th gym. But the nice thing, at the very least, is that even though we have to do all this stuff back to back to back, it'll all be packed in this next, like this episode and the next episode, and then we never have to take any more classes ever again. Yeah, and then she just pulls God out of her pockets. She's just like, the Pokemon on my team are really strong. She just sends out an Arceus, and it's like, what in the world? Where did this kid get that? You're not even old enough to remember that event. Oh, right, you could have played Legends, and I think you can catch Arceus in that game. I don't remember. No, actually, I think I'll just fly straight to the school. I want to get the classes done. So let's do it. Yeah, the faster we get the classes done, the better. Honestly, I agree, because, like, the trouble is that nobody does these classes. So I wanted to include them in the playthrough, because, you know, I wanted to show them off. But the reason why nobody does these classes is because they're boring and tedious, and they don't really do much to keep you engaged. So, was it a mistake to include them? I don't know, but we're knee-deep in them anyway, and, well, I guess technically speaking, the rewards from them, some of them, can be useful, but I don't know if it's worth the trouble that we're going through. I guess we'll find out. Alright, let me see, did I get the event with Professor Jacques last time? I did, yeah, because he would be in the biology lab if I didn't, so. Alright, so the 5s for each of these classes. I feel like I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Did I check the Koromon game thing? No, you know what? I didn't. I completely forgot about it while I was on vacation. I'm going to make a little note of it right now. Hang on one sec so I remember to do it, because I have a little note cards over here. Let me just make a note of it. Hang on. Alright, I have noted it for myself so that I can take a look at it. It is literally written down on a piece of paper on my desk now, so I will look at it as soon as I'm done with this episode, and probably after I take a shower as well. So I'll do both of those things, and I'll look at it tonight before I go to bed. And I will let you know what I think of it. Play it when it was still in development. Oh, okay, nice. So hopefully the developers got a little bit of like constructive feedback from you, or from at least got something out of your playtime anyway. So. You mean the one where you asked us how we like the Pokédex? Oh. Well, you guys did work on research together, didn't you? So, I mean, he probably knows you pretty well. Oh, God. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and one of the big examples I can talk about is actually Hippowdon. We have one in the PC I can show you, but the male Hippowdon and the female Hippowdon have significantly different coloration to them. So there's also Oricorio, who has like the 4 different color variations depending on which type of nectar it eats. But he's specifically talking about shiny Pokemon, which we've found a couple of. Well, the one in 8,192 isn't here anymore, so I guess it would have to be this one. No, I don't know. I've just sort of assume it's really low, and it is. The base chance without any boosting of any variety is about 1 in 4,096, I want to say now. It used to be even worse, 1 in 8,192 back in the older games, but I think they boosted it at some point. I don't remember when, but... And yeah, if you hatch Pokemon from an egg, it has the same chance of being shiny. So, but yes, there is that. If you have a Pokemon from a different region, and by that I mean in real life, where the language was different. So like if you have a Pokemon that was from a Japanese trainer and a Pokemon from an English trainer, and they make an egg, it has an increased chance of having a shiny Pokemon. I believe that's... Is that the Masuda method? I don't remember exactly, but... And yeah, there's a shiny charm in the game as well. I don't remember if he gives it to you. I feel like he's the one that gives it to you when you finish the whole Pokédex, which obviously we can't do because we can't get all 400, but... Anyway, that takes care of that class nice and quick. So. There's this cool last extra battle for completing it, but you won't spoil it just in case you want to check it. Well, I appreciate you not spoiling it, because you never know. I might look at it and be like, wow, this actually looks kind of cool. I'll take a look. So, yeah, I appreciate you not spoiling it. It'll make it all the more interesting when I do look at it. Oh, it must be nighttime because Gengar's out in the lobby. Cool. Alright, let's get these lectures done. Lecture number 2 of 7. As sharp as the sides of your hair? I guess, but... I just love how we're basically doing statistics at this point in this class. Well, that's true. And I try to minimize the chances where they will miss. Yeah, unless you're in Gen 1, then there's a 1 in 256 chance of tackle missing. And trust me, that happens more often than 1 in 256 times. It just seems like it shouldn't. And honestly, what she's talking about, like, if you don't know, the word percent used to be 2 words, percent, where the cent was the root word of century or centennial or any of those things which involve the passage of 100 of something. So percent is per 100 of something. Or you could even look at, well, cents as they are as a measure of currency. Percent per 100 of something. So that's what she's kind of referring to. I suppose I don't have to tell all of you the semantics of this. We're all basically adults here, so like you know, I don't think I have to argue for that anyway. So, yeah, no, I prefer the former. I would rather the moves have 100% accuracy than anything else. Right, unless you get accuracy dropped or the opponent has Bright Powder. Now, here's my question. Is the 20-point boost in power worth the 20% accuracy drop? Competitively speaking, I would say yes in some situations, because there are some thresholds where Hydro Pump will KO and Surf will not, even if you're maxed out on your stats. But honestly, I'd rather, and I feel like this is why I lose in competitive like half the time, but honestly, I'd rather hit 2 Surfs in most cases. Yeah, it depends on the situation, I think, is the best way to answer this. Because, again, there may be some thresholds where Hydro Pump will KO, but Surf will not. But for me, personally, I'd rather use Surf. There's no correct answer there, though. Use what you want. Yeah. So. There is, however, honestly, really the factor that I think the most about, on top of accuracy, is the power points of the moves. Now, in a game like this, where you can just fast travel to a Pokemon Center whenever, it's not really a big deal, but in older games where you had to ration your power points over the course of, like, a cave, so you wouldn't have to keep running back out and back in and wasting repels, the power points of certain moves, if you have more of them, it might be more worth it to keep that move, just because you can get through dungeons without having to run back and restore you power points, or, you know, use ethers. So, you know, I was going to say Rock Slide and Stone Edge would be a very interesting debate, because Rock Slide is 75 base power, 90% accuracy, 20% chance to flinch. Stone Edge is 100 base power, 80% accuracy, increased chance of a critical hit. They're two, I don't even know, that's like comparing apples and oranges, because they're both rock type moves. They both don't have 100% accuracy, but that's really where the comparisons stop. They're used in 2 different situations, especially since Rock Slide hits both targets in a double battle, whereas Stone Edge only ever hits one. So, like, I don't know if we can make a fair comparison there. I feel like you could probably make an argument for using one over the other, but again, it probably depends on the situation. Anyway, let's go fall asleep to Miss Rhyforce class again. So yeah, Lockjaw. Oh, we've already seen Lockjaw with Nimona. I'm sure other NPCs suffer from Lockjaw in this game. I don't know why. Like, I feel like it would probably not be good, like, from a model perspective, for their teeth to just go into each other, but I wouldn't notice it, because it would just look like their teeth are acting like teeth, you know? Yeah, vaguely. It's been about a week and a half, but, you know. Yeah, it's the stuff in the Violet book, right? Wow, what a creative name. Heath, huh? Okay, fair enough. The team itself was the Area Zero expedition. You put it at the end of a sentence. Law of primacy and recency here, Miss Rhyfor. It's pretty easy when you put it at the end of a sentence. But yeah, so Heath was actually the one that wrote the Violet book. So when we go and read it afterwards, and there we go, she just said it. It was published by this Heath guy, who is one of the expedition members at Area Zero. So. Seriously? We live in a world of animals that can sense the aura of anything around them just by existing, and the things in that book can be considered too fantastical for reality? I don't know that I believe that, because, like, Pokemon come in all shapes and sizes. Why wouldn't they just look more mechanical? What if they're all steel types? Like, what? Lemons do not exist naturally. It's a hybrid with a bitter orange and an acid citron. I do believe that. I think I actually learned that at some point, if I remember correctly. But and actually, honestly, you might have been the one that told me. But, you know, yeah, I do remember that. They don't exist naturally. From somewhere. I don't remember from where. So if they weren't sure if it was real, why didn't they go trying to explore to find out just how difficult it was to actually get down there and then be like, you know, maybe this guy's got a point. But yeah, I guess the book has fallen out of favor. And if you didn't know it was there, here's your clue to go and take a look at it. So we'll go look at it after we're done with all of our lectures today. Yeah, are we sure this book is not real? How do we know? Although I suppose it could go the other way around, right? Like, they could be like, well, how do you know it is real? Listen, I'll go down there myself, okay? I'll find out that it's real. I'm already training to do that to begin with, to help a friend, so, like, it won't be that much of a stretch to just figure it out for myself. I have a smartphone. I can take pictures down there, and I can show them to the masses. I'm going to do that, actually. Just, I hope I remember to do that, but remind me when we go down into Area Zero. I don't know that that's a spoiler, because that's literally what we've been training for since, like, the 3rd stream to help Arvin. When we go down into Area Zero, remind me to take pictures of, like, a bunch of things. Like, pictures with Pokemon, pictures of the area, just so that I could, I don't know, publish them in a book report in school or something. So. Oh, good. We get to do this again. Alright, I already couldn't hear you before this. Let me do this. Hold on one second. If I turn off the air conditioner, I can actually hear what Pikachu's saying. So let me do that. Okay, Pikachu, go for it. Alright, so that was probably sadness then. Okay. He threw me a bone because he said, wow, that sounded a little bleak, huh? Hang on, let me go turn the air back on. Because I could not hear, if I had done that with the air conditioner on, I could not have heard a word that Pikachu was saying. If you won't do it, I'll make it myself. Yeah, exactly. Alright, so the ellipsis kind of gives it away, too. So. Sure, why not? Yes, clap for the mascot that has made them billions of dollars over the past 25 years. I'm saying that like I didn't use a Pikachu in Let's Go, although, to be fair, that was kind of like part of the point of the game, so I don't know. Like, I did play Let's Go Pikachu rather than Let's Go Eevee, but, you know. I mean, I was going to say, that goes for most people. Treat them more kindly when they're sad, or, well, honestly, I don't know how true that should be, because really you should treat them the same no matter what, right? Because, like, if you treat them more kindly when they're sad, it sort of creates this obligation between you and them, doesn't it? That, like, well, now they're treating me better, so I'm obligated to treat them better, and I don't have the energy to do that because I'm busy being sad, so... I mean, you should support each other, but you should support each other all the time. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too hard about it. Alright, Matane. So, again, one more lesson to do. And what I'm going to do, like I said, is we're going to do the next Team Starbase, and then we're going to do the final lessons of all of these here. Because then what that'll let me do is get the 8th gym badge, come here and take my finals, and then we can do the last Team Starbase, and we don't have to worry about the finals being locked behind the last Team Star like the ending of the Team Star quest line, basically. So, alright, let's go to battle studies with person in a toxic relationship. I guess just the quest with the 7th gym just sort of, and it's weird because like there isn't really much going on there, but it just ingratiated me a little to Miss Dendra because like she's just, you can see it from what she said when we were doing the emotional spectrum practice. Like, she's not in a good relationship with this tulip lady, but nothing ever comes of it. It's never brought up again for the rest of the game. So, like, why even put that in there? Excuse me. Yeah, very, very slowly, because they earn like 20% of the normal experience. But that at least is kind of true, because the battles end quickly, but like you get less materials from doing them. Oh boy. LP. HP. Money. I mean, you kind of already need HP to live, but you know. And that is worth doing, I think, because at some point you might have too many of a certain material. Like, I probably have way too much Hapini dust from having done so much Chansey grinding to get all of my team members ready to go, but... Wait, hang on. That sounds vaguely familiar. I hope that Cassiopeia isn't getting involved with that. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and I guess that's fair. I don't know how I feel about that system, though, because I've never used it for one, but for another, I'm not sure if it's like Fallout 4, where like it puts a little marker to let you know, hey, these are the materials that you want to gather. But like I said, I've never used it, but maybe it's just because there's not that many materials to remember in most TMs, but... You want us to murder our own animals in order to gain materials from them? I still think that system is silly. You remember the Spider-Man parody movie that was really funny? It was named something like the Dragonfly Man. Oh god. Dragonfly Man, huh? Like, do Dragonfly... They don't make webs, though, so like, why... I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, I guess it would have a similar, like, look to the costume because of the bug eyes, but, like, beyond that, wouldn't it have to have wings and, I don't know, whatever. People do creative things to get around copyrights, so, you know, I shouldn't question. Hi, Mr. Hassel. You were just overwhelmed with emotion to such a degree from a friend's turmoil. See, this is not going to be the last time that Miss Time, like, is involved with higher affairs like that, like where it's, or rather, really student affairs. It makes me wonder if she's, like, on the Parent-Teacher Association or something. I don't know. Anyway. I have a good chunk of them already. Yeah, we kind of grabbed that one really, really quickly. Because it's right outside. Now, we did get Casaroya Falls. We have not found Fury Falls yet, but we'll remedy that soon enough. So, we have that one. And that's, I was going to say, Glaziato's Grasp, right? Yeah, it's Glaziato's Grasp. So he kind of gives you some hints as to all of the... Yeah, it does kind of look like a hand a little bit, but he gives you a hint at some of the different sites that you can go find. He doesn't tell you where they are, but he tells you kind of what to look for, which is something, I suppose. Now, this one, I didn't know about this one until I took the classes. That's how I know about the Million Volt Skyline, because he, yeah, just talks about it right here. So that's like 7 of them that he has just... Well, let me think. He talked about the Grand Olive Orchard, the Million Volt Skyline, Fury Falls, Casaroya Falls, Glaziato's Grasp, and Glaziato's Highest Peak. I think that's it. That's all he talked about. So 6. He's talked about 6 out of the 10. Maybe don't use language that you don't understand, Mr. Hassel. No, I don't know. I visited a few tourist spots on my vacation. I wasn't particularly disappointed in any of them, so... I visited a stone monument that was 300 feet tall. I could literally see it from my hotel room 10 miles away. And that's over the tree line, too. So. Yeah, and I think that's fair. Well, they're always worthwhile in this game, because if nothing else, you get a fast travel point out of it. So, although, I guess you don't necessarily need those too badly, so. Hey, Conker. It's hot over there in SoCal? Yeah, I can imagine. I just got my air conditioner installed here, because it's hot over here, so I can only imagine it's even hotter in SoCal. Well, stay hydrated and stay cool as much as you can, my friend. Welcome back. I am back from my vacation in the wilderness to take more classes. Because it never ends, although it does end. We'll just be taking a lot of classes in this stream and the next stream. So, thankfully, this is the last one for now, for this rotation, and then we still have one more round of lectures to take before we can take the finals. But, you know. Oh, it's a comedy, so all of it that's there is pretty much very scuffed. Yeah, I guess that makes sense then. Yeah, they're not trying to make it serious. I think I hit the pop filter, my bad. No more Rotom phones. Put them away. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, I was going to say, that's not going to happen. Oh, okay. More on this filth. They get bloody and broken and beaten down, and you have to bandage them up or they will die. Right. I mean, I take them to a Pokemon Center like a responsible trainer would, so, you know. I mean, you could pat it on the head, but that would not clean it, so let's just wash them at the picnic. I mean, that's just common sense. Right. That's what I just said. But yeah, this is the thing I was talking about in the Tulip battle when she was talking about keeping your Pokemon aesthetically clean. You can talk to a Pokemon and you can wash them. And, okay, yeah, the Pokemon wash, whatever. But basically you lather them up with soap, you wash them down with water. I don't know where you get the soap and the water from, but you have like a shower head icon and you just, yeah, do that stuff. Spray them off, and that'll get them nice and clean. I don't know what happens if you clean a Pokemon that doesn't like being cleaned, though. Like, I'm thinking about, like, Grimer and Muck. I can't imagine that they would want to be cleaned from, like, a bath like that, because they are literal filth. Like, that is exactly, like, what they are. So if you wash that away, aren't you, like, taking a piece of their body away? That would not be good. El Macho. It's around 96 Fahrenheit over there, staying hydrated at least. Yeah, hydration is a good thing then in that case. If you can hydrate with cool water, even if you don't have AC, hydrating with cool water. Like, cool water just in general helps a lot with hot temperatures. Like, when I didn't have the air conditioner, and I still do this anyway to get the pollen out of my hair, but when I go outside and it's like blistering hot outside, I come in and I wash all of that stuff. I just rinse my hair by just running cold water through my hair because, I mean, you sit down and all that pollen is still in your hair. You gotta get it out or you're just gonna be sitting there. I'm gonna be sitting there anyway, sneezing for the rest of the day because I just got pollen all over my couch. I don't want that, so. Yeah, I was gonna say, certain Pokemon are weak to water, so they wouldn't want to get sprayed. Certain Pokemon are filthy, so they wouldn't want to get cleaned. Yeah, well, I guess it's fair. Yeah. Although, as he said, it does restore HP and it does cure status ailments, but then again, you could do that by feeding them as well, if I remember correctly. So you don't have to wash them. You could just feed them and get the same result. Water is so much better than any other drink. Hey, listen, water is the primary one that hydrates you. The rest of the drinks, depending on what's in them, can dehydrate you, actually. So, gotta be a little careful, because if the drink has a lot of sugar in it, the sugar has to be dissolved by something, so the body has to use the water that it has to dissolve it. It can dehydrate you. If the drink has salt in it, the body has to use the water that's inside of itself already to get the salt, rid of the salt, because it has to dissolve in something, so it can dehydrate you. Water has trace minerals in it, but generally speaking, it's the main drink that will hydrate you. So just, yeah, water good. Drink water. Unless you live someplace where the water needs to be, like, filtered first. Then filter it first and then drink it. And I count myself as kind of lucky, though, because I found this out not too long ago. I live in a city where the water has been fluoridated since, like, forever. Like, long before I was born. And what I mean by that is they put trace amounts of fluoride in the water, like, at the treatment plants in the city before they send it to your house, basically. So some places, they just don't put any fluoride at all in the water, and I find that baffling. Like, do people just have more cavities in those cities? If they do, why haven't they fluoridated the water? Like, because you need trace amounts of fluoride in a day in order to, well, reduce your chance of getting cavities. It's actually helpful for tooth health. So I don't know. And I mean, you get some of it from toothpaste, because even if you rinse and spit the toothpaste out, there's still trace amounts of toothpaste in your mouth, and so the next time you drink something, you'll just swallow it down. But yeah, no, if you don't have, that's one thing I should say. If you're living in a new city, check to see, and this is primarily advice for the US. Unfortunately, I don't know how they do this in Europe, so I can't really talk about it. But in the US, if you move to a new city, check to see if the water in the city is fluoridated. Like, call your local water treatment plant or the water works in the city, whatever, and check to see if the water's fluoridated. Because if it's not fluoridated, you might want to consider, like, getting fluoride drops, so that way you can, you don't even need that much. You stick like a drop of fluoride drops in, like, one of your glasses of water, and you're good for, like, the whole day, basically. You only need, like, very small amounts of fluoride in order to be good to go. But it's very helpful to have it. So it's an important ingredient. I'll just say that much. What am I going to do now? So we're done with the classes. We finished the 7th gym badge. If we zoom all the way out here, we can see that we have, there we go, zoom all the way out. We can see that we have 2 team star bases and 1 gym left. So here's the gym, here's the 2 team star bases. Now, we know this one because we've already been up there when I showed off the Chansey grinding, but we have not been to the North Provinces basically at all other than that. And as you can see here, this one's North Province Area 1, and this is North Province Area 2. The one we've seen, excuse me, is in North Province Area 3. So, my thought process is, well, which of the 2 team star bases should we do? And I think we're going to go do this one next, instead of doing the other one we've already seen. This one has a higher level cap to it, but the strategy for it is very similar to the strategy for Atticus's fight, so I don't think it's really all that out of the question to do that. The question really is, how do you get there? So let me show you legitimately how you're supposed to get there. Now, you could just rock climb your way there, because, you know, you might just have that by this point. But if you want to get there without doing any rock climbing, you can get there by going through Glaziato Mountain. So let's do that, because then we can raise our Pokemon that we have in our party that we need to raise to 48 anyway to be ready for the next gym. And, well, we'll go from there. So let's get up there. We'll just continue from where we, oh, hang on, left off. I gotta change clothes. I'm out in the winter weather without winter clothing. So let me fix that. And, you know, I'll probably just leave these clothes on in North Province just because, like, it's probably still pretty cold up there. Probably not as cold because there's no snow on the ground, but it's probably still pretty chilly. So I'm just going to leave the winter uniform on for as long as we're in the North Province. Just, I think it'll be better. This is where you kaboom. Kaboom! Explosion sound effect on my non-existent soundboard. This is where I explode, because I'm sick of this shit. Oh, sorry. Like I said, I try to avoid swearing on these E for Everyone games, but sometimes it just happens. Oh, boy. Now, I could probably continue to climb up this way if I wanted to, because we have access to the rock climbing, but I'll go the legit way, just so that way you can see. You don't need anything at all. Like, you don't need high jump, you don't need dash, you don't need anything to get to the North Province. You just go out this way instead. Wah, wah. I mean, I guess I'm riding a motorcycle up the mountain. Maybe I should be just climbing it like a normal person. She has a Yeti on her team. Kind of. Well, the Yeti can get Aura Sphered. Here you go. Goodbye. Wasn't a very imposing Yeti. Could take some notes from the abominable snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now that was a scary Yeti. I mean, I was a child, so, and it was a claymation, but that was a scary Yeti. And that's true, honestly. Although I will say this, I was probably over-prepared for the hiking that I did, especially on the one day where I was like only planning on doing one trail. I ended up doing two, but I only really needed to be prepped for the one because they were two smaller trails. So I over-prepared. I brought more food than I needed in my pack. And a furry creature decided to follow me because I think it thought that it was going to get some of the food out of my pack if it followed me. So I have a picture of a fox on my, whatchamacallit, on my phone from the trip. So it wasn't a very good picture because he was skittish as any fox naturally is. And, well, I had to turn around, kind of whip around real quick and take his picture before he went back into the woods. But, yeah, I got a little fox picture on my phone. It was cool. It was funny, though, because, like, before I took the picture, I don't know if he just didn't expect me to turn around and notice him, but I hear, like, footsteps in the brush behind me, and so I kind of turn around, and he just sort of pauses, and so I turn back, and he walks onto the trail, and so then I kind of turn around slowly. I'm like, what are you doing? I can't give you any of this food. First of all, I mean, there's protein in these protein bars, but it's not, like, meat. I'm pretty sure you're probably an omnivore, but, like... this isn't gonna help you. You need meat, little fox. Well, I guess this guy's letting us see the triple dive animation. I've literally never seen that before. I don't think it has 100% accuracy now that I think about it. So, like, seems silly to give it a signature move that doesn't have 100% accuracy. Oh, sir, you're gonna regret that. That move has, no, wait, does it? No, I don't think, actually, grassy terrain reduces the power of dig. Never mind. I was going to say, I think it reduces the power of it, but no, I don't think it actually does. Granted, it did no damage anyway because I resist it. You give those back. You know. And Shaylee is almost level 48 and almost ready to take on the next gym. You know, it's kind of weird. This guy talked about thick fat, but, like, you didn't have any Pokemon with thick fat. Wouldn't this have been a good opportunity to demonstrate the thick fat ability by having Pokemon with thick fat? What do you think, Go-Goat? Genius Sonority would have done that, wouldn't they? Yeah, I guess that's fair. You wouldn't know what a Genius Sonority is because you weren't introduced to the Pokemon world until after that, well... Actually, no, I think they still made Pokemon games. I like how this one turned its head at a 45-degree angle, like it was actually trying to understand what I'm saying. Oh, whoops, sorry. I bumped into you with Miraidon's back. This is one Hydra you don't want to get up on the back of. Well, thanks for your time. See ya. There are certain Pokemon where I just have silly interactions with them in the overworld, and it gives me life, genuinely. Like, I wish I could feed them, but it genuinely gives me life sometimes to just have silly interactions with them, because, like, I don't really get much else out of this game, so I gotta get something. Don't mind me, ma'am. I'm not here for you or your children. I'm just here for the items. I think, actually, because where am I looking for here? There's a way up that you can get to. Where was it? Oh, it's here. Okay. So you go up here and then around. All right, so let me jump down here. We actually went this way to get up through Dolly Zappa Passage a little. There's an item over here. Hang on. A little bit ago. But I'll come back here, so I'll show you where we're at. Because the kid that talked about the camera app is right here. So you go that way and there's nothing. You go this way and you go up and around and there's a passage up, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me just look and see. Oh, wow. Wild Magnemite and Magneton. Don't really see them very often. Okay, I think if you go this way... Hang on, let me look at where I'm going here. Okay, so keep going left, because this is just going to lead to cliffs. But if you had kept going up the mountain over where we just were, where we were fighting that trainer, you would have gone probably up there to the Pokemon Center on top of Glaciato Mountain. So, dead end to my right. So we want to go this way. Oh, I must have fought you already. I think I might have fought that trainer off-screen, actually, now that I think about it. I don't think she had anything particularly interesting. Or is this going to put me back out right where I was? It might. Well, then I guess we'll just reverse engineer the way that you're supposed to go here. Hold on. Technical difficulties, stand by. Because the way that you're supposed to go is up there somewhere. Whoops. That's not what I meant to press. Oh, Fire Terra Shards. Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, here's the thick fat guy right here. But we need to get up here, and I'm trying to think, because I don't think you need any of this stuff to... Or is it just over here? Do I just go this way and get there? No, because this leads here. We're gonna figure this out. Hang on. Let's try to figure this out. Okay, so this is the path where you need to go here. No, that's the path where you need to go there. So how do you get there? Oh, so you go in the opposite direction from the fork. So there's the fork again down there. The kid with the camera app would be right there. Instead of going, well, left or right at the fork, you double back. So, like, you go this way, and then instead of going left or right, you double back in this direction to go up the mountain. So, basically, if you want to get here, you go from, here's Zapapico, go up here, take the right path to the dead end, and then double back this way, and you'll end up going on the mountain trail. And that's how you get here without using any, like, rock climbing or any of that. Whoa. Okay. Okay. That's a lot of Pyroar. Just popped in all at once. There's several paths on this mountain trail. We'll try to take a bunch of them just because. Might as well grab the items while I'm here. But our ultimate goal... Oh, here's another one of those stakes. Well, I'm not going to pull them out now. We'll pull all the stakes out at once just so that way I don't have to, like, be like, did I forget one? And then I didn't forget one, you know? So... Yeah, there's a bunch of paths up the mountain here. I think that one over there is the main one I want to go on. So instead of going that way, we'll go this way, and then we'll kind of come back after we're done going this way. I think there might be like one trainer down here or something, and then multiple trainers in the opposite direction. Guess we'll see. Is that an item? Yes, it is. Okay. I'll take it. Well, that was just a mess waiting to happen right there. A bunch of Yungoos, a Gumshoos, a bunch of Little Leo, and a Pyroar. I would have gotten wrecked if I stayed there. Oh, good, and some Varoom and a Revavroom. Okay. Get me the heck away from all of that. Is that a wild Talonflame? No, it's a wild Salazzle, Psyduck, and a Flamigo. There are wild Talonflames somewhere, but I don't know where exactly, so... I could have sworn there was a trainer down here, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just items. Because I know it ends on a cliff. Here's another rain dance, I guess. Oh, okay. Well, you get a Comet Shard for coming all the way down here, so I suppose that's not terrible. I could climb up that way to get back to the path, but then we'd have to double back anyway, so let me just walk back, or ride back, as it were, to get back to the start of this path so we can actually fight the trainers on the way. Because the trainers on the way, I don't know if they'll get me... Oh god, that Psyduck's going over. I don't know if they'll get me quite enough experience from fighting all the trainers on the way there, but the Pokemon here are all fairly decently leveled. They're like in the low 40s, so we could probably just chunk up a little bit of experience once we finish fighting all the trainers if we're not quite at 48 yet. And I can probably stay 47 on the captain and still be fine, I think. I mean, worst comes to worst, we'll just fight a couple of low kicks because they seem to like fighting. So. Stop screaming, sir! Because you're gonna get distracted and then someone's gonna sneak up on you like I just did. I feel like the captain can probably handle this one as well. Just water pulse it. Oh yeah, definitely if it's 36. Oh man. The levels here are a little lower than I would have expected them to be, but I suppose you can get up here fairly early. Like, we could have come here as soon as we got to Dali Zappa, basically. So. I know that guy. I'm going to be using that guy for not the next Team Starbase, but the one after that. I could switch. Alternatively, I could just start blasting. I should be able to take this hit no problem. Kind of the nice thing about Cloetzer is that it's not necessarily the fastest Pokemon, but it has pretty solid defenses all the way around, so it can fairly easily tank hits, even though it's not necessarily the most defensive Pokemon around, especially with the Assault Vest. I get the feeling the space between this one's ears are a little empty. Oh boy. Alright, Shaylee, you're at level 48, so I'm actually going to stick you in the box because you'll get... Well, I don't know that necessarily that's needed because there are actually no trainers between here. Like in the final gym challenge, there's no trainers, it's just the gym leader. There's like the gym test, but there's no trainers in the gym test and then the gym leader themselves, so... I don't know necessarily that I need to be careful with your EXP. You need how much to the next level? I wasn't paying attention, I should have been. 6,600, and that's more than anybody else needs, because you need, like, what, 45? Yeah. Excuse me. So you won't get there as long as I don't use you in battle. Shouldn't be too tall of an order. I didn't go up this one yet, did I? Let's go up this one, because this is a little further off in the other direction. Oh, here's another one of the snakes, unless I went to this one already. I'm going the other way. Yeah, I went to this one already by going the other way, so that's the second way to get to this one, I suppose. Do a 360, because why not? I wonder how populated these areas up here would be on the Switch 2. Because from my understanding, the Switch 2, because it has higher processing power, apparently the game just, in terms of like how many Pokemon it'll spawn, it judges based on the processing power of the console, and it's just like, okay, this system can handle this many Pokemon. And apparently because the Switch 2 is more powerful, it just spawns more Pokemon in the overworld. So that's something, I guess. No, sorry, Flamigo, I gotta fight this hiker 2B. Instead of you. I guess I could fight you later. Come in. Why? What's up? You're good. No, you're good. What's up? Oh, okay. Fair. Okay. I can't believe that I just, like, muscle memoryed my way to Dark Pulse. I barely even registered that I was fighting an SPF. That's funny. Well, the captain has something for that, and as it turns out, has something for this Umbreon as well. I should probably heal him, though, with a Super Potion, but I don't know. I don't know if it's necessary, but maybe I will, just for the heck of it. Alright, well he's 47, so technically speaking he is ready for the gym fight. I wouldn't be terribly unenthusiastic, though, if he got to 48 just before. And, you know, I could probably use experience candies to get him there. Like, if everybody else gets to 48, I could probably just use experience candies to get him there as well. But, like, let's see, 21, 24, 28, 35. So since there's a snowstorm, let's take advantage of the snow cloak ability. I never get to use it because, you know, honestly, probably this snowstorm's going to go away before I even get to another trainer. But there's snow going on, and Frostlass has the snow cloak ability, which increases her evasiveness when there's a snowstorm happening. So let's take advantage of that, shall we? I mean, I guess. It's because it's an environment that you're not used to seeing them in. You're used to seeing them in a specific environment, and then it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting to find you all the way out here in the middle of a snowstorm on top of a mountain. Well, we're not really at the top, but, you know. Read that because of the higher processing power, Scarlet and Violet run a lot smoother on the Switch 2. Yeah, and from what I've been told from the people that have been here in the chat that have Switch 2s, they've told me the same thing. So I would imagine that tracks, honestly. So I didn't teach you Psychic yet, did I, Yukiko? I should do that. Here's a Glaceon. So we've seen like 3 Eevee evolutions in the past couple of minutes. Will you live this? I forget what your special defense is. Yes, you will. Okay, fair enough. You don't need to do that. That's a non-starter because there's already a snowstorm. I'll take that though. Do a quick smooch before we get rid of the smooch. It'll make us functionally less effective against the low kicks up ahead. Not that I need to be effective, but you know. I also, if I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember, but I think like shiny hunting has changed now that there's more Pokemon on screen on the Switch too. Like I feel like it's there's a difference to it. Like you don't I don't know if it's necessarily that like there's different spawn rates or what, but like I think there's a difference to it than there would have been otherwise. So alright, I'm just going to bypass all of you. Even that gigantic low kicks that I just jumped over there, that thing was huge. Relative to the rest of the Pokemon its size, like, holy man. Nice Avalugg. Now, we also want to come up here for another reason. As you can see up ahead, there is a watchtower up here, so it's worth coming up here if you're doing what I'm doing, which is getting all the fast travel points on the map. I think if I remember correctly, there's a total of 43, if I'm counting right. There should be 33 regular ones and the 10 sites of Paldea after that. But I could be wrong about that, so... Oh, the snowscape's gone. Alright, what was I gonna do? I forget. I don't know, whatever. Let's just go up the watchtower to get the fast travel point, and then not too far away from here should be the way down and off of the mountain. But I think I'm gonna go that way before I do that, because I think there's one more trainer over there. And then we can see just how close we are to the next thing. Oh, good, another Hyper Beam. But yeah, there's the North Province down there. There's a Pokemon Center. There's another one in Area 2. We'll go hit both of those up. I'll fight this Gimmighoul, because why not? Not that I need anything from it, but, you know, might as well. Get a little extra experience. Not much, apparently, but a little bit. Oh, and now you're going to give me 60 coins. Okay, fair enough. I see how it is. Now, you could go down into the North Province by going that way. I think that just leads to a few items that I don't need, but we'll go this way because the proper way down is this way here. Oh, you've already seen me. Are you going to run after me? Yes, you are. I have successfully evaded you. When will you get tired enough to not do this anymore? Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to leave Roxas out. Fine, you want to fight? Let's fight. I don't see why not. Wow, you actually lived that. That's impressive. Alright, Bug Dark. Let's switch in... Let's switch in the Captain. I was going to switch in Interceptor because super effective and also, you know, resist both typings, but I'm going to switch in the Captain because he needs more experience to the next level than anybody else. And then do a little Horse Sphere. Ouch. Oh, the snow started up again. Cool. And you give me how much experience? Oh, wow. Quite a bit, actually. That's surprising. I didn't expect that much. Let's see. 482, 780, or 749, 461. I can read. 936. All right. So, Houseplant and Yukiko need the most to get to the next part. Depending on what this lady has, we might be able to get all that experience right now, but we'll see. Yeah, you're asking the wrong person. Sorry. As I said in the rhyme fight, I am not quite a poet. Wait, no, hang on. White snow all around. I cross paths with school. She's doing a haiku, is what she's doing, actually, because it was 5 and 7, so she needs 5 syllables in the next one. Like, I just recognized that. Like, I thought about the words that she was saying. I was like, huh, wait a minute, hang on. I think I understand what she's getting at here. Oh, Boom Burst, wow. I probably could have made Roxas a special attacker because Overdrive and Boom Burst. Did we get Overdrive yet? I don't remember. But Overdrive is an 80 base power electric type move that's boosted by Punk Rock. Boom Burst is also boosted by Punk Rock, and it would have done substantial damage, but it's okay. He can kick and pretend to punch instead. Yeah, so there you go. She was making haiku. And I guess she did, in fact, get the haiku because she said a bitter defeat, and that's 5 syllables. So if you go a little further up the mountain this way, you'll end up right at the Glaziato Mountain Gym. Just kind of elevates like that, and then you're right there. So there you go. But I don't need to do that because we need to go down this way instead. Now, let's see. Okay, so you still need a teeny tiny little chunk, 249 of experience, and you need 4,847 experience to get there, which is more than Shaylee needs to get to the final stretch. So, let's switch Houseplant in front. We'll fight a wild Pokemon on the way. I guess I'll just fight another low kicks, why not? Because if I fight the Pokemon down in the valley, the thing about the North Provinces is the Pokemon are at a fairly high level. Surprisingly enough, the ones in North Province Area 1 are actually at a higher level than the Pokemon in North Province Area 3. You're probably meant to go to North Province Area 3 before you go to North Province Areas 1 and 2, but it makes me wonder then, why are they called Areas 1, 2, and 3 if you are meant to go to them in the opposite order? It might be based on, like, geographic north or something. It's like, this is the northmost one, so that's why it's called Area 3. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're going to pick up the last couple of Pokemon Centers we need just by going down here anyway. And actually, we'll pick up another one of the 10 sites while we're down here, too. Alright, so we should be ready for the gym now in terms of levels, so I will just leave everybody the way that they are. I might put the captain out there, but he probably won't be able to run away from all these Pokemon, although I do have whatchamacallits for that. One single pine tree growing on these rocky slopes. I mean, there's 2 down here, but I find that very unlikely. Anyway, you go all the way down here, you hit the grass, and bam, boom, you're in North Province Area 1. No, climbing needed. No high jump needed, nothing, just take the path out of Zapapico, double back so that you end up on the side of the mountain, and then just wander your way down the trail here and end up where we need to be. As I said, though, the Pokemon in this area are a little higher level, as you can see by the wild Noivern over there. Good lord, but this Indeedee is level 49. That Noivern's probably in the 50s. There's a wild Espatra there. We've seen those already, but this one's level 49. Trainers are a little tougher as well. We'll fight the trainers later. Believe it or not, she will still be panting by the time we get back here. And the berries that are available in this area are the ones that weaken a particular move type if it's super effective. So like that Shuka berry is for ground type moves. I wasn't paying attention. There's a Payapa berry for psychic type moves. But yeah, so all the ones that weaken the power of certain moves. And I think, if I remember correctly, key berries are also available here. I don't know why I remember key berries specifically. It might be because I used them on a really niche Clefable set, like back in Gen 6's competitive meta. But I think key berries are also available here, so if you want them. No citrus and lumberries, though. You want those, you gotta go to specific places. But yeah, here's the North Province Area 1 Pokemon Center. Our goal is to get to the one in North Province Area 2, but it's a short jaunt up the path here, and then whatever this is supposed to be. So I guess we'll find out in just a second, because that's where we're going. Oh, there's Wild Ursaring over there, too. Well, this place is chock full of some crazy Pokemon. And I mean, we could just go jumping up the cliffs and stuff, but why not go this way? You know, it's easier than going up the cliffs. There's a bunch of trainers we could fight in this area. Oh, and actually that reminds me. If it is dusk, like if you look at the menu and it has a little sunset in the, like the top part of your map there, if it's dusk, you can actually find dusk form Lycanroc here, which is like wild, as wild Pokemon. Which is not normal, because normally in order to get a Dusk form Lycanroc, you need to evolve a Rockruff that has the hidden ability Own Tempo. But they're just available in the wild up here. So if you want one and you haven't gotten one yet, this is probably the place to do it. It'll be like level 50, but you'll have one at the very least. So that's nice. Wild Greavard and Houndstone all over the place up here, though. Can't say I'm a fan of that. This is as east as I've gone, actually. Oh, good, a 4-star Terra battle. 4-star Terra Fairy Phalanx. I don't even know what level those would be at. I think probably, if I had to guess, I'd say like 45 or 50, but I could be wrong about that, so. That Rosalie Berry, I don't think we got one on screen yet. That one reduces the power of a super effective fairy type move, so. And then there's just a bamboo forest down here with wild Luxray for whatever reason. If you have a, oh wow, a pack of Passimian as well. And there's some bamboo shoots, and there's actually, this is actually not a bad place to look for some money because those bamboo shoots are all over the place. If you have a Bisharp, there are wild Bisharp here as well, and the Bisharp that are here can have, there's an item that some Bisharp have. It's like a trophy or something like that. I don't quite remember because I've never gotten it, but if you defeat 3, I think it's if you defeat 3 Bisharp that have this trophy as a hold item, you can evolve your Bisharp into the Paldean exclusive Bisharp evolution. I've never done it, so I couldn't really describe to you whether what I just said was real or made up. But, well, you could try it for yourself. I don't know how you would know that it has that, though. Probably the best way to do it would be to, like, have a Pokemon with Frisk, so that way, like, if you have a Noivern with Frisk, or you have a, I think an Espathra can have Frisk as well. I'm just going to grab this from you guys. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to bump into your child. But yeah, if you have a Pokemon with Frisk, you can find out if the Wild Bisharp have that item, and then if they do have it, you can switch in your Bisharp and then have it knock it out. Oh, it's Noble Stone. Okay, well, I don't need that. But other than that, there is... What am I looking for here? Over there. That's what I'm looking for. I probably shouldn't be wandering and collecting all the items, because I'm going to do this anyway when we come back here to fight the trainers that are here, but I think you only need to fight 5 trainers in this area. My brain was trying to process what that was. That is a wild Cricketune with a bunch of wild Cricketop. Here's an Amoonguss. It's a little sus. Sorry, you'll never hear that from me again. I never even played that game, so I can't really make that reference without it being silly. Oh, a big bamboo shoot. And 2 tiny ones. But yeah, you see what I mean? Like, you can gather these up, and they sell for pretty good money. So, not a bad idea. Here's another one of the 10 sites, Fury Falls. So this is the other one that Mr. Hassel was talking about. I think there's a waterfall TM near the top of it if you go up that way. And the game is starting to chug, so in a minute I'm definitely going to save it and quit to the menu, I think. I think I'm going to try to make it up to the Pokemon Center, but if I remember correctly, the actual, like... Oh, wow, it's slacking. Terra type slacking. Wonder what its Terra type is. But, I think getting to the Pokemon Center is actually, like, the cue for the, whatchamacallit, the Team Star cutscene to happen. So maybe I'll save it right here instead of up there. Nah, I'll go up here. It's fine. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I could make it to the Pokemon Center without it triggering the cutscene. Cool. Yeah, silence. This is odd. It's a little bit of an odd place, considering we were just up on a snowy mountain. All of a sudden, you just end up down here. I mean, I guess it happens in Japan, too, if you drop elevation quite a bit, but we're still pretty high up. Like, the elevation on this area compared to the quarry site, which is in East Province Area 3, just below this, it's a pretty steep climb to get up here. So I don't know what the deal is there, but, you know, I guess whatever. Okay, so now that we're over near the Team Starbase, our Pokemon are actually too low of a level to... Well, we could probably beat the Pokemon that are in the battle coming up before the Team Starbase with these guys, but it would also probably get us too much experience, and Shaylee would end up being level 49 before the gym. Not that I'm going to use her in the gym anyway, but, you know... So instead of that, basically, the point that I'm making here is let's get out our specialists and have them take care of the problem instead. So... I've also given our specialists some items, just so that way they are ready to go. For this particular battle, well, the only one that really needs an item is Oricorio, as you'll see here. Oricorio just has a wide lens, and actually Oricorio doesn't even need a wide lens for this fight, because of a mechanic. It's kind of a hidden mechanic in Gen 9 that I'll talk about when I get there. But for the next 3 specialists, Venomoth, Magneton, and Graphite, they've all got items that they're holding on to, and they will use all of them probably. And actually, Graphite, I'm going to have to switch that item once we're done with the battle before the base even starts. So, but for this one, Grumpig, Vespiquen, and Oricorio are our specialists for this one, so we'll use them. And despite the fact that Oricorio is like a 1-foot-tall little bird, it's about to take on the strongest Team Star base in the region, and actually the highest leveled challenge in the region besides the before the Elite Four. So, where's the fun when it's all easy? YOLO. Yeah, that former question, where's the fun when it's all easy, is something that I ask very, very often in this game. I don't... Like, the difficulty kind of all went out the window after we took on all of the Titans at a really low level, because it wasn't necessarily difficult, but it required a little bit of strategy, like more strategy than the rest of the game requires. So, I don't know. There's a lot about this game, and just generally the 3D Pokemon games that have been happening since like Gen 6 and on, they just haven't really been particularly difficult. Like, I think Sun and Moon were a little more difficult, but I think they were a little more difficult because, like, they EV trained the Pokemon, like, that the trainers have, whereas you didn't have reliable access to EV training, and that was why it was difficult. It was less about it being, like, challenging and more about it being like, we optimized these Pokemon, but you can't do that to your own. Haha. I don't know. And again, I didn't necessarily find, like, I played through all of Sun. I didn't really find it very fun to play through it. But I didn't necessarily find those fights difficult, even though they had their Pokemon fully EV trained. It was just like, well, my move didn't quite KO them, and now I got one-shotted, so now I just have to revive that Pokemon and do it again, you know. The big fish looking how a Minecraft sheet made of salt approaches. He's like, what is this thing supposed to do? And then the Minecraft sheep just has its eyes lens flare up as his salt cures it to death. Yeah, we're almost there now, Clive. Well, I'm glad it's been eye-opening for you. You know, honestly, I probably would have said this anyway, even if I had something else to say. But it's kind of hard to tell with Cassiopeia. I think they have an agenda, but it's really hard to know exactly what the agenda is because they're not really giving us any information. You would have said, is that so, no matter which of those options I said, wouldn't you? Probably. Maybe we should ask them ourselves, but yeah, anyway. Okay, you keep watch. I'll let you know when I go challenge the base in about 3 seconds. Game prevented me from grabbing this item by doing that. I wonder if I can... Oh, the item was actually this item. It locked me into the cutscene before that. Pardon me, Scyther. I gotta go get items. Oh, there's wild Spidops here, too. Cool. Another big bamboo shoot. I don't remember exactly how much those sell for, but they gotta sell for a good chunk. Wow, there's a ton of Pokemon on screen right now. Like, look at all these Scyther and Spidops. Pardon me. Pardon me, folks. I've got a job to do. Alright, Clive, what part of keeping watch is this entailing? You're taking on a trainer. That's not normal for you. Oh, this is the boss? Yeah, I guess she was in the profile picture for this place, huh? Yeah, so you don't trust them, because if you don't want to risk them, it means you don't trust them to be efficient enough to actually take care of business for you. Like, you literally just answered with, it's not that I don't trust them, it's that I don't trust them. It's just, you're just being nice about it. Alright, fine, let's get a closer look and see what Clive's Pokemon look like. No, not that close, you idiot! This is not getting a closer look, this is intruding on the conversation. Oh, God. Yeah, I could see that. Fair enough. So you weren't doing reconnaissance, you were talking to people. Why would... Oh, I was going to say, I thought that was Carmen talking, but whatever. Wait, hang on. Who's the boss here? Exactly. Because it's starting to sound like this Carmen lady is the one in charge of you, Eri, rather than the other way around. Well, you're doing a bang-up job of that. 3 of the bases have already been destroyed. Protect what exactly? You weren't there to protect them when I, like, ambushed the last 3. That doesn't seem like a very convincing argument. But she's gonna buy... Again, who's the boss here? Like, who's in charge? Because it's starting to sound, again, like Carmen is the boss of the team, rather than Eri here. Like, at least act like you're in charge. Alright, fair enough. Double battle time. I thought you said that you were all ready to go. Was that a bluff there, Clive? Yeah, I can probably handle it. I have different Pokemon for this anyway, so I am so ready. Let's get it on. My Pokemon are fresh and ready for more. Now, thankfully, unlike most of the other Team Star members, well, Carmen still suffers from similar problems in that she has not evolved her Krogunk into a Toxicroak, despite it being level 54. But she has more than one Pokemon, so I guess that's something to help me drag out the battle a little so we can listen to the theme. Grumpig, just annihilate this thing, please. Thank you. Nice thing about Grumpig is it actually learns Psychic by level up, so I don't have to teach it that from a TM. And it's in the fast experience group, so it gets there a lot faster than other Pokemon do. Yeah, I guess Clive just doesn't want to fight. I mean, you know, fair enough. He doesn't want to give away his hand too quickly. God, the low poly on those fists on the door there, just like, oh my lord, man. I wonder if that's something they fixed on the Switch too as well. Like, I feel like the low poly stuff here, it might be upscaled a little by the resolution on the Switch too, but I don't know, there's just some jank in this game that I don't feel like they could fix just by bumping up the processing power, you know? But what do I know, right? No, it's a good thing I used Reflect there, man. Huh. Maybe her Krogunk swallowed an Everstone. Here's the Dragon Ball. I'm gonna eat it! Oh god, something like that. I don't think I want to be on cleanup duty for that one. Anyway, the Reflect will just make Vespiquen's job even easier than it already was. She's pretty tanky, but she would have to, well, if this Primeape doesn't keep screeching at me, she'd have to take a couple of outrages from it and counter back with an Acrobatics. But, well, should be fine. Yeah, as fine as it could be. And there you go. The entrance to the base has been cleared. None of us leveled past the level cap, so that's a good thing. I mean, I guess, but that does mean that I can now assault the base, so maybe you should have tried a little harder. Yeah, see you soon. Oh, hang on. I'm getting a phone call from you-know-who. Hello? I did, actually. Does it matter that I'm doing these out of order? I guess not. So this is the CAF squad, run by Eri, who is a wrestler. Yeah, you know, I could see it, honestly, from the face paint and stuff. Wonder if she has a Hawlucha. Would it be weird? I feel like it would be weird for her to have a wrestling motif and for her to not have a Hawlucha. But then again, Grapple-Locked is another fighting type that has like a wrestling motif, and it's not even in this game. Like, they put it in Sword and Shield, and then we just don't see it anymore. At least as far as I know, it's not in this game. I don't think it's in the DLC either. That's a shame, because I actually kind of liked Grapple-Locked, like, design-wise. I didn't like that it didn't, like, well, actually, I think if I remember correctly, it evolved from Clobopus by knowing Taunt, which you could teach it by TM early. But if I remember right, it learns it by level up, too. So, yeah, actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because we already met. So, okay. Are you reading my mind? I didn't say anything. I just looked at the screen funny. And you just, she retreat. Well, how do you know I said that? Like, you could at least have me emote like I do in Final Fantasy XIV when I'm telling somebody something and let my mouth move a little bit. I guess that implies that your protagonist is not silent. But you literally asked me a question, and I answered with naughty smile, and you just got that from my naughty... Like, you could have pulled the camera away or something and, like, not made it so it wasn't just staring directly at me. I don't know. Whatever. Alright, so we're ready to fight the calf squad now. Ish. Should I go back and heal at the Pokemon Center? Nah, I'm just going to heal with a super potion. We've got 19 of them. Here you go. Because, quite honestly, I'm not going to need Vespiquen or Grumpig for, well, the rest of the base, basically. I'm going to use Oricorio as the lead Pokemon for the rest of the base. Oricorio has a wide lens because I have Air Slash on it, and this is what its moveset looks like since I showed you the other two. So there you go. And as I showed you before, the nice thing about Oricorio in this game is it can learn the all-important Quiver Dance move. So if you saw Atticus's base, you probably know where this is going. If you did not, well, you're about to find out. Because here we go. Okay, so this base is actually a little bit different from the other ones, as you'll see in just a moment. I actually kind of like this line better. The lines that the grunts tell you are actually, they're the same for the bases in the orders you do them. So it doesn't matter which base you do first, second, third, fourth, fifth. The grunts will always say the same things. And I kind of like the lines for the grunts at this base specifically a little bit better, because if they were saying this at the Fairy Crew base, the thing about the leader of the Fairy Crew is that most people don't like him because he's kind of a stuck-up little snot. So I kind of like these better because Aerie has the trust of her grunts, and so they would want to defend their boss with all they've got, you know? But anyway, let's watch Oricorio, Vespiquen, and Grumpig put on a clinic real quick. But here's the different thing about this place compared to the other places that we've been, is that it's a straight line, kind of. So, like, you have to walk up this hill and fight off all of these Pokemon. Not really one at a time, necessarily, but kind of one at a time, in a way. Go on, Grumpig, get this one, too. There you go. So it's not quite as open as some of the other bases have been previously, as you can see. You can get both of those, right, Grumpig? Hopefully. I'm just going to watch them to make sure. Oh, he didn't get both of them. So yeah, as you can see, you kind of got to do these a little bit, like, one at a time almost. So, do I miss any over here? No, that's just the team members. Oh, here we go. Now these ones you should be able to get both. There you go. Not this way. You'll run right into all of my Pokemon and I will die. Alright, good. We'll get Vespiquen a matchup she can actually, well, match up against pretty well. Because, you know... Okay, fine. You do this one. When she's fighting those fighting and flying types, it doesn't really work out quite as well because, you know, they've got super effective moves. I'll let her fight those before I move up here. I was going to say, that one might not be good for Oricorio either because it's an ice fighting type, but... You know what? It doesn't really matter too much. They're all, like, in the mid-40s with their levels anyway, so... It shouldn't be a huge problem. But we're almost to the actual, like, garage where the car is. It's, like, right up there, if I remember correctly, so... We won't quite get there before we defeat all these Pokemon, but, you know, it's fine. And there's a Breloom up there. Well, I won't KO the Breloom, because Breloom is cool. You get to live. Alright. Time for the boss. So let's fight the Lucha Lady. Actually, she's probably more of a grappler than a luchador, honestly. Although I think there is a style, like a luchador style of wrestling that involves more grappling than high-flying tactics, but my knowledge of pro wrestling is limited, in terms of like luchador, is limited to what I watched Rey Mysterio do when I was a teenager, so I can't really talk about it all that much. If there's more of a professional somewhere, feel free to correct me, because I don't have any waking idea outside of the real quote-unquote wrestling that I've watched, so. Well, I have watched real wrestling because my friends in high school were actual wrestlers. But anyway. Let's see if she can Pokemon battle as well as she can wrestle. You didn't think you'd escape from me, did you, Aerie? You ain't going nowhere. I got you in the ring for 3 minutes. Anyway, this teeny tiny little bird is about to sweep her entire team. Because the trouble with Aerie is that she has the same problem as Atticus did. Her Toxicroak knows Poison Jab, Brick Break, and Sucker Punch. So Poison Jab is not very effective against ghost types, Brick Break has no effect, and honestly it probably sees a KO right now with Sucker Punch, but Sucker Punch has only 5 power points. So if you Quiver Dance 5 times in its face and run out all of its Sucker Punch power points, well, you get to +5, +5, +5. We don't have to worry about the problem we had in the fight with Atticus, where Lucario didn't have enough speed and I had to give it an air balloon, because I'll just be faster than everything, and you see where this is going, right? Like, I don't have to elaborate any further, right? Why did they give Oricorio Quiver Dance? I mean, I guess it's a dancing move, and it is a dancer, so that's fair, but, you know. But yeah, so we're just going to dance up a couple more times. I think that was 3. I wasn't paying attention. I can always look, so. And then, well, it won't matter. Yeah, that was 3. So 2 more. Run out those power points. Now, the way that I've structured this, we're doing this base because it's got similar tactics to Atticus's, even though this is the highest leveled base out of all of them. I am doing the final base as, well, the final base, the Fairy Crew base. Okay, because I'm going to switch up my tactics for that one. I'm not going to do any setup for that one. I'm just going to fight them straight up and see how it goes, basically. I could Quiver Dance with Venomoth as well, but, like, why? You literally just are watching me Quiver Dance the heck out of this one. So do we need to do it that way? I don't think so. Alright, Air Slash a go-go. Goodbye, Toxicroak. That was probably about 15 of you dead in one hit, so yeah, I might be exaggerating. That probably did about 450% damage, though. Now, she's sending out a Lucario, which will not survive a +5 Air Slash, but we could always Terra up. The Terra type of Oricorio is Flying. Now, the Revelation Dance would normally be Ghost type because that's its secondary typing, but a neat thing about Oricorio is that if you Terra up and use Revelation Dance, let's find out what happens. Oricorio, it's your time to shine. Please demonstrate for the crowd. Now remember, Revelation Dance normally takes advantage of Oricorio's secondary typing, so in this case it would be Ghost type because Oricorio is Ghost Flying in the Sensu form. When it Terras, it drops its Sensu form's Ghost type and becomes a pure Flying type, and Revelation Dance, by extension, becomes its Terra type. So Oricorio's Revelation Dance can effectively be whatever its Terra type is, and it's just a 90 base power Terra Blast, essentially. So if you've never used an Oricorio with the Terra typing before, it's actually kind of an interesting mind games thing that you can play in a metagame, because you can just use whatever Terra type you want and be like, okay, well, I have access to Ghost Flying and whatever other typing I want this Revelation Dance to be. I could just switch up. And the nice thing about it is if you have the DLC, instead of having to run with Icy Wind and a Wide Lens, you can actually just teach it Alluring Voice, which is a Fairy type move that will give it even more coverage than it had before. So, yeah, Oricorio is pretty good. Don't underestimate this little bird or it will kick your butt. Just like this. And then laugh in your face, because I would like to imagine that that little tweet that she's doing is her laughing as she annihilates Aries' team one by one. So this one's a wash. Man, the fights that we've done today haven't exactly been interesting, have they? But yeah, she, despite having the wrestling motif, does not have a Hawlucha nor a Grapple-Locked. But, well, even though she has a car... Now, this car is actually kind of challenging because it has the stamina ability, so every physical attack... Well, actually, I think every attack it takes, it raises its defense. And it has shift gear to raise its attack and speed as well, so it can be pretty tough. But when you have a 1-foot-tall bird with 5 quiver dances under its belt, it's as easy as 1-2 revelation dance. Watch this. Goodbye. That is a one-shot. Holy God, Oricorio. You did not have to do that to her, but I am glad you did. Good job. You can also do that with a Miss Magius as well, because Miss Magius is naturally faster than all of her Pokemon and has access to Calm Mind. But Miss Magius is not available in both versions of the game, so I wanted to use one that is available in both versions of the game, so Oricorio. Miss Magius is a Violet exclusive, so... I guess you could probably do that with Bayonet as well, but Bayonet is really slow, so... Might be able to do it with Houndstone. I don't know what boosting moves Houndstone gets, so I couldn't tell you, but... I know Bayonet gets Calm Mind, even though Bayonet is more a physical attacker, but with 5 Calm Minds up, you could probably just Psychic your way through the whole team. Yeah, anyway, let's look at their training arc before they, you know, did everything else. Let's just talk her up to make her feel better. Yeah, you guys should probably get a Union designated break by now. That means all of you, Aerie. Excuse me. Yeah, but that's also a good way to wear your body into the ground. I know you're a teenager, but, like, don't do that to yourself. Because when you're older, you'll end up arthritic and unable to take advantage of your gigantic body frame. Most people cannot rock being over 6 feet tall, okay? Let alone people who are biologically female. There are a good chunk of biologically female people who are over 6 feet tall. Don't get me wrong. It's just not the human average, so... And you have a body frame that could definitely take advantage of being very tall. So don't throw that away by just overexerting yourself. Well, I mean, listen, you went up against an unstoppable force. An Oricorio at +5, +5, +5 is not something that a fighting type team can take on. But anyway, yeah, we get Aries Team Star badge. And this is probably the nicest picture out of all the Team Star base ones, because I'm not getting stepped on or, you know, like any of that stuff. So I didn't get stepped on in any of the other ones, but Mela definitely twisted my arm a little bit, literally. And for beating Aerie, we get Close Combat. Pretty good TM, all things considered. It also, if I remember correctly, finishing out this base unlocks a lot of the, like, endgame TMs, like Hydro Pump, and... No, actually, I think Hydro Pump is later, because you get that from a, like, feeding a certain number of trainers in a certain place. But it unlocks quite a few of the high-end power moves, if I remember correctly, so... Well, I try to do the best I can for my Pokemon. I just end up being strong by extension of helping them out. It makes them reach their full potential. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe they're helping me reach my full potential, and I'm helping them reach theirs. I mean, okay, I guess. Are you going to look away, or are you going to watch her as she screams and cries and runs away? Anyway. So, are you the actual boss, or... That wasn't the question. Let Clive ask the question. I'm just being sarcastic. I don't know, the other grunts seem to like her, but that's like just the thing that the 4th base has normally. So. I suppose that's fair. So then you got jealous of her and started picking on her. Yeah. Oh boy, kids are easy to figure out, aren't they? There's also that, true. I guess karma comes back around, huh? Well, that was nice of her. It's been fun wandering through the mountains and engaging in truancy for you? I'm confused. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like they're not terrible people. They just made a bad decision and now are paying for it. Which sounds about right. I'm trying to tell if Aries doing the same animation there as Mr. Hassel did when he was bursting out crying in the classroom. It's kind of hard to tell. Because I couldn't see where her arm was. But it didn't look like she was hunched over like he was. Like when he did it, he kind of put his head back and hunched over a little bit. So, anyway. Hi, Cassiopeia. She did. It was not a hard fight. Well, where are they going to go, though? They're kind of stuck up in the mountains. It's pretty difficult to get back, although I guess they all have pretty decently leveled Pokemon, so... Yeah, that's what it seems like. Yeah, I guess I'm the spearhead, but I'm just taking advantage of knowing what their types are before I go in, honestly. Yeah, you know, honestly, I've known him pretty much since I got here, so... You had a gang of your own? Right. Oh, okay. Wow. So they decided they wanted to bully them, but when they got bullied back, they couldn't take the heat? So they got out of the kitchen, dropped out of school? Wow. Yeah, you know, I could see how that would paint them as the villains if they just stood up for themselves and then everyone was like, "Oh, I'm gonna drop out of school." Well, I won't forget it, but it does make things more interesting, at least. I get 10,000 LP for finishing that one out. I have a ton of LP because I was doing a whole bunch of training off-screen when I was on vacation to get my other teams ready to go for the post-game. So I've been fighting a lot of Chansey and Blissey off-screen in North Province Area 3. Oh, hey, Penny, what's up?
The lady that looks like ice cream.
I didn't know you liked ice cream and sandwiches there, Miraidon, but fair enough.
I have to lick the sherbet on her head.
And then she smacked him crapless. The end. Yeah, it's kind of a cruel fate, really. Well, it does make me wonder if the teachers, like, know what happened exactly, because they didn't talk about this at school. It does remind me of what that one guy said, though, over by Glaciato Mountain, where he said something about how the teachers, like... did he talk about a resignation? I forget. But... I don't know. Are you sure? I mean, it seems like you have a strong opinion on this, but for something you just learned, but... I don't know, I could see their point. You should stand up for yourself when someone's bullying you. You shouldn't just take it. That's not a good way to go. It's a lot of stress you're putting on yourself, you know? Well, the mystery deepens, although I'm not sure how much of a mystery it honestly actually is, but, you know, I guess it's there. Alright, so. With that having been done, let's collect up this last tiny bamboo shoot. We'll go heal our Pokemon, and I think we have all the Pokemon centers on the map now. I don't think there's one that we're missing, because we went up to Alfrenata and we got all of these ones now. But now that we finished up the 4th Team Star Base, just to stay ahead of everything, we're going to go do more classes. Yay! If I wait to do the 6th classes until after I do the final gym badge, I think I mentioned this earlier, but basically if I wait to do the 6th classes until after I do the 8th gym, I wouldn't be able to do the final exams until after we finish the whole Team Star storyline, because once you finish the 5th Team Star base, or I could do them back to back with the 6th classes, but why would I want to do that, you know? But if you wait to do them until after the final Team Star base is taken care of, well, there's a battle that blocks the entrance to the school, basically, so you can't, I think you can't get into the school to take any more classes, even if you fast travel directly to it, so. All right, well, we got our whole team here with us, the whole crew's here, so let's go back to Mesagoza now. We will take the classes. Hopefully they won't take too long. I'm kind of hoping they won't take the rest of the time that we're on the stream, but I suppose it is like 9:50 Eastern time, so... But we'll see. If it takes too long, then that's fine, but... Should I change clothes? I think I'm going to change clothes anyway, just because, like, I'd be... Especially in, like, a PE class, I'd be really warm in that winter uniform, so... Switch back to this. Oh, and I don't know if I had this before, but I bought a racing helmet off screen. We're going to need that for the 8th gym challenge because, well, safety first. I don't want to crack my head open up on the tallest mountain in the entire region, you know. So, but we'll talk about that in just a few minutes if we get the classes done in time, because we might be able to finish up the classes and then do the 8th gym before the end of the stream. Of course, that means we have to do the finals immediately at the start of the next stream, but I guess that's not a terrible thing because then all the classes are done with, you know, if we do it that way. So, any events to do? Oh, there is one with the director. Okay, we'll save that for in just a minute once the classes are done. So off we go again. And I apologize, I know this is kind of a nothing stream because it's like 2 sweeps and 2 rounds of classes. Honestly, like, just thinking about it, I don't want to sell myself short because I'm going to come up with stuff to talk about anyway, but, like, if we do the rest of these and then we do the 8th gym badge today, or if we do the 8th gym badge on the next stream and then we do the last batch of classes, the last stretch before the Elite Four is basically just going to be us going from province to province that we haven't been to, or rather that we haven't finished fighting the trainers in, and just fighting all the trainers in them that I want to fight. In order to get my team up to level 58 so that we can be ready to go for the Elite Four. Then we take on the Elite Four and the Champion, we do the ending fights for all of the storylines, basically, and then we go do the final quest, which unlocks once you finish these 3, Victory Road, Starfall Street, and Path of Legends, so... And there's other things that we'll be doing after that. Like I said, there's one thing in the post-game we can do, and there is a little bit of a hunt that we can do in the post-game as well. Not for terror raids, but for something else. I don't know if we're going to do it in the post-game or if we're going to do it before the post-game. It's going to depend on how much experience we have, but we'll see. Anyway, these are the last regular classes. And form changing. We've seen form changes already in this game with Oricorio because it changes forms when you feed it nectar. Cyclizar has its normal form, its battle form, and then its ride form. But, of course, we can't ride on a Cyclizar. We have to ride on our own, like, futuristic Cyclizar. But, yeah, so your phone has a Rotom in it. Not a Porygon, but, you know, it's a Rotom in your phone. And it could be in many appliances. I don't actually know... No, actually, I think I do know how to change its form. If I remember correctly, the marketplace in Porta Marinata can have the Rotom catalog sometimes once you unlock it. I don't know when it has it. I don't know if it's like fixed or if it's just a percentage chance to have the Rotom catalog. But you can basically get the Rotom catalog at the marketplace, and then you can change your Rotom's form to different things. So, but yeah, apparently there are special types of Rotom that only enter phones, according to what he just said. I don't understand why they don't just have Porygon do that, because Electric Soldier was like 23 years ago or something like that, so I don't know. It was actually longer than that, because I think that episode came out in 1999, so that's 26 years ago. I'm pretty sure it's been long enough where nobody remembers that, so I think you can use Porygon for this, but whatever. Yeah, there we go. So, Oricorio. When you feed it nectar, it changes to a different form. I don't know if you actually are feeding Oricorio nectar. Like, I don't know if it drinks it and then changes form or what exactly. I was never clear on that. Right, and that's the thing about forms, is that they're a little bit different than any other form of change that a Pokemon can have. Yeah, it is a bit of a stretch, but whatever. Yeah, so like if your Wooper was caught in Paldea, well, that form it can't change. You can have an egg with a Jotonian Wooper and have another Paldean Wooper, but if you have the Jotonian Wooper hold an Everstone, I think it's an Everstone, yeah, then you can hatch a Jotonian Wooper instead, so. Well, that's one down, 6 to go. I don't know, I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I think we'll get this done and then be able to go take on the 8th gym. Because like I said, the 8th gym is literally just do the gym test and then do the, whatchamacallit, fight the actual gym leader. So I think we should be able to do that. Although that means I have to do a little research between this stream and the next stream because I need to know like which trainers I want to fight on Glass. Like we fought all the ones on Dali Zappa Passage I want to fight, and so I need to accept the 2 tough trainers. We'll fight those too. But I need to figure out which ones on Glaziato Mountain I want to fight. Then there's the trainers that are in the cave leading to Alfrenata. And then there's like literally everything around Casaroya Lake. No, that's actually after North Province Area 1 and 2, I think. And definitely after North Province Area 3. Well, we'll figure that out later. I'll work on that in between streams, so... Yeah, but isn't that just because, like, I hate to say this on, again, E for Everyone stream, isn't that just, like, because people get horny, like, naturally more often at certain times of the year? Especially in the winter when they're just literally shacked up with nothing else to do? Anyway, that's not something that a 10-year-old would know, so... Right. Well, yeah, that's same type attack bonus. Seems weird for this to be the last lesson. This probably should be the first lesson, because same type attack bonus is a really strong, just easy way to get extra damage out of stuff. And you're not teaching any... Like, if people are taking these classes having never played a Pokemon game, you're not learning what same type attack bonus is until after the 7th gym? That seems silly. Right. Okay, so it's a power of 100. Shares a type, so it's 150. Hits an opponent that's weak to that type, so it doubles in power, so now it's 300. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't that bad, but, you know. I did some pretty, not advanced math classes, but I was doing some decently difficult math problems from early on, so I don't think this is a stretch. Even at 10, I probably could have done this calculation pretty easily. Right. I don't know, I've always thought of same type attack bonus as not like... It wouldn't be like, oh, the damage of the move is tripled, because it's like, okay, I guess that's the base power, but the base power, if the Pokemon has same type attack bonus, is 150, not 100. The base power of that move could never be 100 if it's being used by a Pokemon that gets stab out of it, you know? I don't know, maybe I'm just looking at it funny. But yeah, and basically the ability Adaptability, which normally does this for Pokemon, like it increases its same type attack bonus from 1.5 to 2, giving it a Terra type of that move that was the same as its original typing. So if it was a Rock type, it terastallized into a Rock type. Now its Rock type moves have a same type attack bonus of 2 times. So. Yeah, fair enough. Now you know what I'm saying. Oh, well. Something tells me most of these students will not think the final exam is fun, but we'll make that work for us as we go. Alright, 2 down. Fall asleep in Ms. Rhyforce class, and then 4 more after that. Oh yeah, and I have to do the events as well, so I guess maybe we won't get the gym... Well, no, maybe we'll get the gym done anyway. Or, I mean, I guess I could just go for a little length in this episode. I don't care. It's my first time back, so, like, since after a week being gone, so what's a little bit of extra length on the episode, you know? No big deal. Take a drink, though, so I don't get dehydrated at the end. That wouldn't be good. I just saw that a Spider-Man reference thing you put in there, Conker. I don't remember if that. I didn't see if that was posted like a while ago or just now. So let me know what that was in reference to, so that I can tell you if yes or no it was a Spider-Man reference. It might have been, and I just muscle memoried it out of my brain. I don't know. Well, you can't exactly march toward the... No, it would not. And I'll tell you why it would not. Because we literally know what happened in the past. So why would you want to do that? I think that would be a little hard to follow. Timeline-wise. Yeah, we would be very confused, I think, chronologically. Of course it does, because why would it start anywhere else? That's where everything happens in this region. Right. Why would you want to bring something that looks radioactive out of Area Zero? Aren't you afraid that it's going to, like, give us all cancer or something? Huh. That'd be Professor Turo, right? Because Professor Heath was long gone by then. I've actually talked to Professor Turo, so I have a little bit of an advantage with that one. But yeah, so it wasn't that long ago, actually, that terastallizing became a thing. Apparently it took them 130 years to figure out that the crystals emitting the crystal light causes the Pokemon to look like the crystals that emit the crystal light. But yeah, then he created a thing called a Terra Orb. It's kind of like a lantern, I guess, because with a lantern you can carry a flame for a large number of like miles without it extinguishing, as long as there's a fuel source. The Terra Orb carries the Terra Crystal in a safe environment out of Area Zero. Although that doesn't explain the Terra Crystals that randomly pop up out of the ground that lead you to the Terra Dens. So I don't know what that's all about, but anyway. Oh, sent it back with Riri. Okay, yeah, so I just didn't see it until then. My bad. So. Why is that? I mean, I just don't know if you're a very good history teacher, Miss Ryfor. Why are you making half of history, modern history, sound so boring? Like, that's not a good thing for a teacher to do. Just because you like ancient history better, you have to be enthusiastic about all of it, or else we're not going to be enthusiastic about it, and that means we won't learn it. Oh, something about having 3 minutes in a fight. Oh, that was a Randy Savage reference. That was what that was. It might have come from a Spider-Man show, though, honestly, but it was definitely me referencing Randy Savage, so. Although, I'm trying to think if Randy Savage voiced a character in Spider-Man the Animated Series. I feel like he probably did, because it was from the 90s, and Randy Savage was in everything in the 90s. So, I don't know. Oui. Je suis prêt. I don't think that's how you say I am ready, because you wouldn't use suis in that case. Oh good, more listening to Pikachu. Alright. Let me turn off the AC again so I can hear what Pikachu says. I might need to hear that one again, actually. And I guess, honestly, since it's a contagious emotion, I mean, I would imagine happiness is contagious. So I'm going to go with happiness. There we go. Okay, so let's remember it. The one with the exclamation point at the end is the happiness one. The ellipsis is the sad one. We're going to have to remember this for the final exam, just so you know. The final exam has a few questions on Pikachu's emotions in it. So, yeah, this will be on the test, unfortunately. But it was mad, sad, happy, basically, if I remember correctly. I think it's fair to keep your optimism no matter what, but, I mean, sometimes it might be. if you're just laughing through the most miserable time of your life, you might want to read the room a little bit. Like, it's probably not a good idea to laugh your way through a funeral, you know what I mean? But, yeah. I mean, your loved ones probably wouldn't want you to be sad all the time after they passed away, but maybe during the funeral, read the room. The Clefairy minigame in Pokemon Stadium with extra steps. Yeah, kind of, honestly. Yeah. Because the Clefairy minigame was the one with like all the up, down, left, right stuff going on, right? If I remember correctly. But yeah, it's kind of got extra steps with it because you can't control the up, down, left, right. Pikachu just does it for you and you have to figure it out what it did. At least I don't get bonked on the head if I get it wrong in this one. The comically large toy hammer. Wait, hang on. That Pawmo that's in the corner there, that's just Nemona's Pokemon. Why is it a Pawmo again? Is it a different Pokemon from the one she has on her team? Or because she shouldn't have a Pawmo at this point. You can't unlock this class until you do the 7th gym where she has a Pawmot. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I look at things in this video game? Because like every time I look at things, it's like I find something else to be like, why did you do this? This is like just not attention to detail. Like, why? Why do I do these things to myself? I swear I'm cursed, man. I just can't stop looking at things. I'm like the Dark Souls 3 guy. He can't stop touching things. I can't stop looking at things. Oh, well. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Learn about online play so you too can engage in VGC content. Because that's the official... battle system. Yeah, so like here's Nemona, there's the Pawmo right there under the dialogue box. Oh, Arvin's in this class too? And there's just a random Mastiff next to him. Did Mabostiff have a child? Yeah, it's just reused assets. They didn't think about it too hard, basically. They just said, oh, whatever, we'll just keep using it instead of changing it depending on the time of the game. But, like, you could've! Right, but in Link battles, well, there are rules. As it turns out, you can't just do whatever you want when you play online. Well, you can, if you do no restrictions. But there are other rules. Yeah, normal rules, they set your levels to 50, it doesn't matter where they are. And actually, this is a nice thing. I don't know if this was in previous games, but it's a nice thing about this one. If your Pokemon are lower than level 50, they get boosted up to level 50 in order to participate in the normal rules battle. That's nice, because it means you don't have to raise them all the way to 100 or 50 in order to get them into the fight if you get everything you need before you get them there. Like if you do all the EV training and everything like that. Now, that being said, if you want to hyper train them, they need to be at level 50 anyway, so it's nice, but it's not that nice. It just depends on whether you care about IVs or not. If you're battling in a competitive league, it might be worth it to get them to 50 so you can get those IVs up, but if you're not battling in a competitive league and you're just fighting friends, hey, keep them at level 25 if you get everything you need by then. So, yeah, that's it. Learn some good moves, maybe EV train them a little bit, and that's it. Although I think for normal rules, the way that she talks about flat rules here is it implies that normal rules do not reduce the Pokemon to level 50, but I think honestly they do. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the one that's used for tournaments, basically. You go in and you go do flat rolls. You're not allowed to use duplicate held items. You're not allowed to use duplicate species. That includes forms, in case you were wondering. So, low-level Pokemon and keep its level low. That would be flat rules then, because normal rules adjust them up. Okay, cool. Yeah, and this is why you can get into stuff like Fear, which is the Rattata with Endeavor and then Quick Attack. So, or something with Sturdy. But yeah, you could also just use no restrictions for that if you so choose. But, you know, flat rules will let you use those low-level Pokemon even if you have other Pokemon that need to be reduced down. So no restrictions will not do any reductions in levels. So but I guess it's good at the very least that they kind of teach you a little bit about how the online play goes, because I can imagine children, you know, logging onto the online play and being like, what is all of this? And if you just give them a text box or 5 to describe it all, you might not get through. When you teach it to them in a class, especially if they're, you know, at school age to begin with, they might be more likely to retain that information because it's just an environment that they're used to. So there is a lot to hate about this game. There's a lot to dislike, but where it does things right, I will at the very least highlight them because I don't want to make it sound like I'm just ragging on it. I'm ragging on it a lot, but not 100%. Time flies like that Staraptor over there. How old is that guy behind him there? He looks like he's like twice Hassel's age. I mean, I guess it's never too late to go to school, but that's a lot, man. I can't imagine doing this like this as an 80-year-old man. Yeah, fair enough. So Penny's in this class now. Wasn't Arvin in her seat the last time we were here? Because we were just here. I think I remember Arvin being there. That's interesting. Maybe it changes. Oh, good. We get to talk about 2 things I barely know anything about. Fair enough. I have gotten ribbons before, but not really marks, so. Yeah, and actually, that's the ribbon that I know, is the EV ribbon. So once your EVs are maxed out, and by that I mean if you check your EVs on the stat screen and it's blue instead of yellow, you can talk to the EV ribbon lady in Levincia in this game, and she'll give you an EV ribbon. And that just tells you that they've made maximum effort. There are other ribbons you can get as well, but quite honestly, I haven't really even messed with ribbons since Gen 3 when contests were a thing and you could get ribbons for doing contests. So I don't really know. Excuse me. I guess there's that. But you have to get the ribbons from NPCs, and oftentimes I don't go seeking these people out, so, yeah. I think you remember Arvin being in this class before? Not sure what stream, though. Yeah, I think I remember him being here, too, in the seat that Penny's in right now. Like, the rest of the students are who they are, but I think in that seat, it might be variable depending on, you know, certain things. But yeah, and then there's marks, and I don't even know when these were added, but I know next to nothing about marks, so this is all, like, news to me. Actually, no, I do know something about marks, because I actually went to check the size of some of the Pokemon that I have in the PC, and Iron Treads, being a former Titan, he can actually get a mark for being at the biggest possible Iron Treads that you can get, because he was a former Titan, so you can get a mark for him being the biggest possible Iron Treads you can get. So I don't know how she would compare that, because as far as I know, the NPCs out in the world wouldn't know what an Iron Treads even is, but, you know. Oh, we never read the Violet book last time. We got to read the Violet book 4 times this time. Okay, well. Let's see. Ribbons or marks. You can change their title, right? Yeah. I only know that because of the Iron Treads thing. But yeah, they can display a title when you send them out in battle. I don't like that, honestly. I just think it's really weirdly implemented, and it just... I don't know. This is how it's described when they get sent out in battle. And I don't know, I just prefer it to be normal, I guess. It's probably the same sort of thing as like shiny Pokemon, where it's like, I don't know, I just kind of prefer my Pokemon to be normal and average. Like, why make them exceptional? It's more interesting if the average Pokemon can beat the game. Because it means that they're not like, I don't know, chosen heroes. That cliché's been done to death in video games. Okay, fair enough. I think I'll leave that to the professionals, actually. And yeah, we have one more class left, so we'll just do Mr. Saguaro's. We got events to do. We'll read the Violet book, and I might call it, depending on how long it takes us to get through that stuff. Like, I might call it right before we do the gym test. We'll see, though. Alright. Last class. Well, that is a big life necessity, so I guess that's fair. How will our Pokemon wear clothing, though? Yeah, but you're not allowed to deviate from the uniform even when you're out on your independent study in any meaningful way. Because that would require more assets than this game wants to put in. I could change my outfit in X and Y, and even though I think those games are really easy, at the very least I could express myself. Right. Yeah, because he's got like the... What do they call those cuts? I don't remember what they're called, where they like shave certain parts of them to make a pattern. I don't know what that style is called. I've obviously never done it myself, so I couldn't tell you. Our phones? The phone cases, you mean? That's interesting to you? Oh, okay, fair enough. Right, yes. I might have to go spend a lot of my paycheck on that place. See, like, when you say things like that, why are you concerned with hiding your image of liking sweet things? You wear a pink shirt to every class, and you talk about things like this. Like, don't hide it, man. Just embrace the fact that you like sweet things. Like, literally, look at your ensemble, okay? Like, why would anyone think that you like spicy food looking at your ensemble? Like, are they high or are they blind? Because it's got to be one or the other. Like, they can't be dumb. That's just not right. Well, right, but if you can't cook for yourself, you're gonna have a hard time as an adult. Yeah. And, you know, looking your best at a job interview is kind of important. And being able to take care of your pets is also equally important. So don't sleep on home ec. I just bumped the pop filter, sorry. It's an important class. I didn't think it was very important when I was in middle school either, but I still can cook for myself now. That's more than I can say about some of my peers. Alright, so that's all the lectures out of the way. Done. We just have the 7 finals to take care of, and that's it. So let's go do the events. It might just be Mr. Clavel, honestly, because I don't feel like everybody else will have anything else to say until we're done with the finals. Yeah, okay. Let's go see Director Clavel's event. We'll read the Violet book for 4 events, and then we'll finish reading it after the finals are over, and then we should be good. And then we'll see how much time we have left. Not a problem. Oh, a good friend, huh? You mean Clive? I get a feeling he knows you pretty well. Okay. That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know if it's cool or not, but I wear mine short in real life and in the game. Although that might just be because it's summertime, honestly. But I wear mine short, so I'd say short styles. You can't really go wrong with them, honestly. Yes, the Pompadour has definitely had its day in the sun, and that sun has set a long time ago, Director. Excuse me? You will speak of this to no one. No problem. You will speak of my baldness to no one, or I will make you perish. You will become a perishable good, just like the spoiled food in your home ec class. Oh, God. Yeah, I think, honestly, that's the thing, though, is it's not even a matter of, like, what's cool. It's a matter of, is the cut good? You know what I mean? It's less about, like, is the hairstyle good? It's more about the, did you pick a barber that knows what they're doing? I had a bad experience with a barber one time. He actually was using a straight razor for my beard, and he actually nicked my Adam's apple. That was not a fun day. I had a presentation that same day. I had to walk in looking like a cancer patient. Had a bandage on it and everything. It was gross. Needless to say, I did not go back to that barber. So, alright, what did we read so far? We read these. Let's see. So these will be the ones that we read after the finals. So those ones. We got to do 1, 2, 3, 4. We did these ones already because we talked about Monsters of Area Zero just from, like, what we've seen previously in the game, and Urba Mystica, because Arvin showed us these pages previously. So we've seen those ones. So even if we didn't read those, we know what they look like. Anyway, let's talk about mysterious plates, whatever those are. During our descent into Area Zero, we came across a buried metal plate inscribed with a strange symbol. We attempted to shave off a piece of the plate, but failed to leave even a scratch. Even determining the nature of the metal seems beyond modern science. We know not why the inscription was made, let alone how. I wonder if that changes in Scarlet version, because it would have been, like, not futuristic in that one. It would have been past-oriented. The legendary treasure. Let's see. Haven't had a bad experience with a professional barber, but genuinely do cut your own hair into a basic... Generally do cut your own hair into a basic style. And, I mean, that basic style just works, you know what I mean? There's no fuss to it. You don't have to, like, you know, mess around with it. And you can very easily, like, just wake up and leave it the way that it is. So it's kind of like a no-fuss hairstyle. You don't have to worry about it too much. Like, if I had the time to style my hair, okay, fine, maybe I would, but, like, I don't think I have the time for that. So, you know, there's no hair gel going on in this house. That's all I know. I'll just wear it. I'll just wear it the way I have always worn it. It's fine. The legendary treasure. Countless days into our descent, we reached at last the very depths of the great crater. There we found a cave with formations of gemstones shining blindingly bright as far as we could see. Excuse me. Perhaps that strange light itself is the guardian said to watch over treasure deep within the crater. See, like, people wouldn't consider this realistic. I mean, maybe at the time, but, like, nowadays, this is literally just terajewels, or tera gemstones. So, like, I would think nowadays this book would be seeing a resurgence, considering the fact that a lot of this stuff is just, like, Professor Turo has researched this. So. And imagined Pokemon. Wait, hang on. Which one is that one? Is that... It looks like a combination of things, actually. I was going to say it's either Iron Crown or Iron Leaves, but it looks like a little of both, honestly. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Welcome back. Am late, was a little dead. Well, I'm glad you're not a little dead anymore. I appreciate that you are alive. Welcome back. We just finished the last lessons of the schooling that we have to do. The only things left to do school-wise are final exams. We'll be doing those next stream. And we're reading the Violet book before we go take on the 8th gym, which shouldn't take very long, I don't think. We might do it as the very last thing we do in the episode. I'm not sure yet. And Imagine Pokemon. A drawing of a fantastical Pokemon as envisioned by our sketch artists. The compactness and cruelty of the strange Pokemon that dwell in Area Zero's lower reaches tickled the artist's imagination. Why would cruelty tickle your imagination? Prompting this sketch of what other species that inhabit these depths might look like. Well, that one came true, kind of. So... And then a phantom memory. During our exploration of Area Zero's depths, I, Heath, strayed from the team and was later found unconscious. When awoken, I could only recall speaking with someone in an unfamiliar place, as if in a dream. I was found holding the page shown here. The handwriting is my own, but I have no memory of writing this. This story beat will never go anywhere, not even in the DLC. So thanks for that, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. All right, so we've got this, this, and this, and we'll read these 3 pages after the finals are over. And then we're done with the Violet book. We'll be done with finals. There should be more events that pop up after we go and do that. We don't get to see the school door glitch out this time when we leave. You know, that's fine. Alright, how do I want to do this with the final gym badge? I think I want to start with Roxas, because what we're going to have to do with the gym is going to be more hardcore than what we usually do, like for the gym test. So let's start with the hardcore Pokemon. And apparently there's some Sawsbuck outbreak going on the mountain. That's cool. But this is one of the reasons why I wanted to go up the mountain the way we did, because now we can literally just fast travel right here. We're already where we need to be. We can just go straight to the gym from here, you know. Ancient Blade, and there's also a future one. Oop, almost, hang on. Lost my phone there. There's also a future one. I saw it in Terminal Montage's Paradox video, but you forget the names. Yeah, the ones that are from Gen 5, like the legendary beasts from Gen 5, Terrakion, Virizion, and Cobalion are the iron ones. Like they're Iron Leaves and Iron Crown and Iron, I forget what Terrakion's is. But, and then I forget what the other ones are. I think the Johto ones are the ones that are past versions, if I remember correctly. Because I think Walking Wake is Suicune. That sounds right. I don't remember the other ones, to be honest with you. I don't play this game enough to know these things. I am standing outside in my spring uniform at the top of Glaciato Mountain. I'm going to freeze to death. Hold on a second. Let me fix that real quick. The idea of wearing these clothes right now is, and considering how hot it is making me nauseous, but, you know, it's fine. It's just the video game, not the real life. Okay. So we'll put this stuff on for now. We'll put the helmet on when we find out what we're doing in the gym test, but let's go find out what we're doing in the gym test first before we go doing anything else. So. Yeah, there's no past Paradox Blades of Justice? Okay, gotcha. Fair enough. Nimona, surprised to see you at the top of Glaciato Mountain as well, especially in that uniform. I would think you would have bundled up to get up here, but I suppose NPCs don't need warmth. Like, I mean, I don't need warmth, but I like having warmth. Well, she would, because I'm going to have to fight her pretty soon, right? Yeah, you guys are going to cheer me on from in here, where it's nice and heated, right? How do they get heat up here, anyway? Now that I think about it. Is there like a geofurnace? And if there is a geofurnace, how does that work? Because don't you need the temperature to be a certain temperature, and like up on a mountain it's going to be lower, even in the ground? I don't know. I can't believe they had Nimona come in here for 3 friggin' sentences and then had her leave. Like, what was that even for? Like, I guess it's there to support you, but like, I didn't need that, you know? Like, I need to stop moaning about Nimona because, like, it's never gonna change. Anyway, to face off against Grusha, we have to do the snow slope run, which is not quite the snowboarding minigame from Final Fantasy VII, but kind of close. It's more slalom than snowboarding, but, you know. And yeah, it's right up by the Pokemon Center, so let's go do that. NPCs don't need warmth. You killed her! Good thing she'll respawn. Oh, something like that. Oh boy. It would actually be funny though if there was like a game where there was consequences for NPCs not being warm enough. Like, I don't think that's in any video game that I'm aware of. Like, I think it's a mod in Skyrim, but not in any like actual video game that I've played anyway. So it would be interesting because it'd be like, okay, they have to bundle up or else they'll die. Or something like that. I don't know, I just think that would be kind of interesting. It'd be kind of hard probably to program because there'd be like a lot of flags that need to be in place, but I'm just going to remove the glasses. I don't think you wear the glasses under the helmet, but I don't want those bumping up against the inside of my helmet, you know what I mean? That would probably also hurt. Alright, so we're doing some slalom. Safety first. We'll wear the helmet all the way through the gym battle though, just to, you know, because why not? Alright, snow slope run time. I mean, I guess you could call it that. I don't feel like I'd be particularly good at slalom, but I do miss snowboarding. I haven't been snowboarding in like a million billion years, and I want to go again, but it's so expensive now. Like, I'd have to get my board waxed, I'd have to get new bindings and new boots. I think I still have snow pants and a snow jacket that I could use for it. I probably need to get a new hat, though, because the hat that I have is fine for, like, just regular weather, but probably not good for extreme sports. I'd have to get... Well, no, I wouldn't even wear the hat because I'd have to get a helmet. I don't have a helmet anymore. And, I mean, at that point, we're already talking like $1,000 that I have to put down the drain just to get all this stuff. Bindings cost like $300 by themselves. It's ridiculous. But probably Dwarf Fortress. Yeah, you know, probably, like, Sims like that. Like, Sims... Not even SimCity, but like The Sims or any of that stuff. They probably are the ones that would have like a warmth rating that's required. So, if you can't tell, I don't play a lot of those anymore. I think the last time I played anything Sims related was in my technology class in middle school, when one of the stations was literally just SimCity 2000. That was one of my favorite stations, honestly. So, anyway, Snow Slope Run. You hold forward to go faster. If you're not holding forward, you go slow. You have to beat this in a minute and a half. I think, if I remember correctly, you can do this later to get some items, but and like the times are harder to beat, but I could be wrong about that. You also don't have to knock over the slaloms. I think, if I remember correctly, in the actual like slalom event in the Winter Olympics, you have to knock over the flags, but I could be wrong about that. So... Anyway, let's just complete this in less than half the time. Also, you can kind of cheese this by holding forward and just using the camera to move side to side a little bit. There are certain flags where you won't be able to do that because they're just too close together, but like if on that last slope, you can literally just slide through them. So, good job, Maridon. That worked out. Just use a 2x4. Be a man. Just screw the bindings directly into the 2x4 and slide down the hill. There you go. But I can't carve if I'm on a 2x... Well, maybe I could, but no, probably not, actually. Anyway. Now, remember, Grusha is biologically male. We've seen one NPC talk about Grusha biologically male just there when they said his. Let's talk to another NPC that will say his. I see a lot of people get this... misgender Grusha. And I think, honestly, they make Grusha androgynous, but it's also because of the clothing, too, so... But yeah, here's another NPC that talks about Grusha, biologically male, he, him pronouns. Just in case it's not clear when we see him, he, him pronouns. So... I'm gonna save. I don't think I need to, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Why not? Alright, let's do this. Let's see if Grusha knows the numbers, Mason. Yeah, honestly, that's probably the second best gym test out of all of them. Like, it's still kind of a janky mini-game, but it's not as janky as the olive roll, and it's at least somewhat... It can be fun. A little bit. Excuse me. It's not, like, a very in-depth course, but... I mean, it's something, I guess. Irrelevant. Smash! Internet do be like that, yeah. The internet does what it wants to do, so fair enough. Alright, let's see what the gym leader's got going on. Hi, Citadel. Are you the gym leader? Did you morph into a Pokemon like Bill did? No. Here's the gym leader. So yeah, he's got long hair, and with all the clothes on, I could see how this would be a little confusing for some people, but... Yeah, that's me. And also with the eyeballs, because the eyeballs are more rounded, which is usually something that in games like this where it's like more anime, it's something that they usually give to biologically female characters, is the more rounded eyes. So what happened? Why aren't you a pro anymore? Oh, okay, thanks. Well, I mean, you're right about that. Any mountain is dangerous, not just winter ones. I don't know if that's the right sentiment to give to gym challengers who have gotten all the way here. Yeah, I came all the way up here. I'm not backing down now. Bro built like a push pop. Even got the sherbet flavor going on. Okay, well, I can say the same to you. I'm not going to make this easy on you, Grusha. This is not the bunny hill anymore. We're doing this double diamond style. Alright, so no more setting up, no more BS. Let's do this the normal way, shall we? Because I've done too much setup sweeping today. See, you say that, but I'm literally about to melt your Frostmoth into a small puddle with Fire Punch. Will this wake you up, Grusha? Will this make you stop belittling me? I'm not here to play. Alright, so the only reason he's sending out this Beartic is because it can learn Earthquake. And, I mean, granted, look at the gigantic thing. It's like 2 Grushas. So, I think we pivot through Houseplant. I know I could still get, like, rocked by an Ice-type move, but I don't think he's going to go for it. He's going to go for Earthquake because Roxas is 4 times weak. So let's pivot through Houseplant. And then from there, what would he use? An Ice-type move. So then I can pivot from there to the Captain, probably. Because the Captain will get a little bit of lefties from the Seed Sower that we just did. And he should be able to tank Ice-type hits pretty good. And we can counter back with an Aura Sphere. A Flaming Pimp Slap from Toxtricity Roxas with his foot, no less. Not here to play, apparently. Yes, here's the Icicle Crash. That's okay. The Captain can take it. We get a little bit of recovery from the grassy terrain. Using that to my advantage. Haven't really had a chance to use that to my advantage yet, but might as well do it now. Okay, well, he lived. I guess Icicle Crash is his strongest move to use against me. But yeah, the Captain has, like I said before, some pretty good defenses, so it shouldn't be too hard for him to tank multiple hits here. So, and he's naturally faster than this Beartic, so that's kind of nice, actually. Beartic is really strong. It's just very slow, if I remember correctly. So, all right, what else you got? Satitan! Another one that I should probably leave the Captain out for, because this thing's a whale. It is weak to Aura Sphere and Flash Cannon, but it is a whale. It also has Thick Fat, so I wouldn't use a Fire-type move on it. It probably won't do very well for you. Ah, but it lets the gym leader use his signature move, Ice Spinner, which will delete the grass from the battlefield. It's one of the it's the secondary effect that Ice Spinner has, so I guess we won't get Leftovers recovery, but we should still be able to tank another Ice Spinner from here. Yeah. The bigger they are, yeah, exactly. The harder they fall. Well, that's 3 down. Good job, Captain. That should get you, yep, up to 48. And probably Shaylee will get to 49 from this last one, but that's fine. And for the very last Pokemon from the final gym of the entire region, Grusha sends out an Altaria. Winona called. She's wondering why the 8th gym is using a Pokemon from her 6th gym. What do I send out here? This thing is going for what? Dragon Pulse? Probably? I can send out Interceptor and Body Press because it's going to Terrastalize into an Ice type in a second. Let's see if this works out. If it doesn't, we can always pivot back into Roxas and, you know, just go from there. Well, that's correct, but I can anticipate what you're about to do. So, you know, we'll see if it works out. If it doesn't, I have plenty of Pokemon and plenty of HP left on a bunch of people, so. Honestly, we might have been able to tank a hit from this Altaria on the Captain. He's got an Assault Vest, so he might have been okay, but ooh, a Hurricane might be a little bit of a problem, though. Ow. Okay, not that much of a problem. Do I Yawn and then Body Press, or do I just Body Press? I don't think the Body Press is going to KO. Yeah, I'm just going to Body Press, whatever. I'm going to go off to Roxas if this doesn't. Yeah, I didn't think so. Altaria's got pretty good defense, so. And he missed a Hurricane. Focus Miss strikes again! Hurricane has 70% accuracy. Don't rely on that. Oh, we didn't KO. And he missed another Hurricane. I feel like I'm watching Shroom's last, was it his last battle? I forget. He had a competitive match where he missed like 2 hurricanes in a row when he needed to hit both of them in order to even have a chance. And that sucked for him, but like, it's a 70% accurate move. I would never rely on that. I'll just use a physical bird instead. Good job, Interceptor. Good job, everybody. We all pulled that one out of our butts anyway. But I didn't have a plan for this one. It worked out pretty nicely anyway. I probably could have raised, whatchamacallit, Colossal and just, you know, gone through the whole battle like that, but... Well, that's because I am a youth. You should have expected that coming from a 10-year-old. Okay, but you don't mind if we take a picture, right? Yeah, Mom wants to make a scrapbook when I'm done with all this, so... Well, listen, I wouldn't say that too loud. Mom might hear you, and she's a lot less merciful than I am when it comes to Pokemon battles. So... Interceptor just dodging hurricanes, apparently. I mean, he's pretty good at blocking moves in Final Fantasy VI, but I didn't know he was good at dodging them, too. So, fair enough. I'll take it. He's a dog of many talents, what can I say? I gotta name a dog that I get later on in my life Interceptor or something, just to commemorate him. Just get the Doberman Pinscher, I think is what he's based on. Just get a Doberman later in my life and just name him Interceptor, just right on the nose. Imagine getting your butt handed to you by a cold biscuit. No offense, Interceptor. No, it's fine. I mean, that's what was happening, so... I can't even imagine being in Grusha's shoes right now. Being beaten by Bread Dog! But yeah, so now that we've got all 8 gym badges, no matter what level the Pokemon are that we capture them, they will listen to us. So there's no more disobedience. Not that most Pokemon are much higher than level 55 anyway. Mostly it's Terra-type Pokemon that are higher than that. Here's the TM for Ice Spinner. I've already gotten this one because I made this one off-screen. You can actually make this one for some weird reason as soon as you beat Giacomo. I think the Dark-type Team Star base. As soon as you beat that one, you can make this one. Not sure why they did that. There was probably something like a flag or something that they forgot to flip to take it out of the list of things you can make way earlier. Because you normally can't do that with stuff that you get from the gym leaders. You just can't make them until you get them. But you can make Ice Spinner. So, I guess I'll be back at some point. See ya, Citadel. Maybe that's how they're getting heat up here, using Colossal. Yeah, that's possible too. I mean, Colossal get pretty hot, so... You could call him by his actual name, Nimona. He has kicked your butt on multiple occasions at this point. You'll name yours something dumb like Pretzel. Pretzel is a good dog name. Don't let anybody tell you that's a dumb dog name. Pretzel's a great dog name. They'll know exactly who they are at all times, because when else would you say the word pretzel in real life? Only when you're getting pretzels or petting your dog. So, just don't name them something where it's like you use it commonly in real life, because they'll get very confused. You know, like, why are they saying spoon? You wouldn't name a dog Spoon, but why are they saying spoon? I'm right here. What are they looking for? Well, I'm glad you guys liked it. I literally just pulled that win out of my butt, so... I didn't have a plan, and it worked out. Yep, so now this part of the Victory Road's quest line, the only thing that's left to do in it is take on the Pokemon League. We do have one more stop, well, 2 more stops really, because we have to take our final exams before we can even consider that, and we have one more Team Star base to do as well, so... But yeah, you could just wander right into the Pokemon League now if you wanted to, but our Pokemon are like level 48 and 49, and the Elite Four members are level 58 at the lowest, so you might not do that just yet. It's not quite the level jumps that happened at the end of Sword and Shield, though, so I can at least give them a little bit of credit for that. You go from like level 50 to level 65 in like 3 gameplay hours in Sword and Shield. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't know what they were thinking, but yeah, you do that if you can get off this mountain without freezing to death. I don't know how she does it. Again, it's reused assets, because you could take on any gym last, even one that's not up in the middle of a mountain like this, but... Well, I'm glad that I'm fulfilling her needs. Like, I wish she could actually see me for something other than just being her rival. Like, I don't know, maybe look at me as a person rather than like a drug to fulfill your battle high. Like, good lord, man. I suppose. But I'm not doing this for her there, Mosquito. I'm doing this for me and for my Pokemon. We're helping each other reach our potential. This isn't about Nimona anymore. This is about us. A dog named Spoon, surprise Pikachu face. Would Colossal get stuck in the snow or just melt it all? Probably melt it all, honestly. Like, let's look at the Pokedex for Colossal. I feel like it gets pretty hot. Hang on, let me find it. How do I can just switch it to alphabetical order, right? I could also do heaviest to lightest. It's probably pretty heavy. Yeah, there he is. Details. Yeah, that would melt any snow. If I stuck Colossal on the mountain up here, Glaciato Mountain would cause a flash flood of heretofore unseen proportions, because all of the snow would melt and cause avalanches that would bury the entire region. So knowing that, let's walk outside right now and just destroy the whole region. Hi, Arctic. You know, you're right, that is a silly idea. That's kind of why I wanted to do it, though. Maybe I still will. She's not a rival, really. More like a lively cardboard cutout. Harsh, but fair, honestly. Alright, so we have final exams to go take. We finished the 8th gym handily. We have final exams to go take, and we have one more Team Star base to take on, and that is the Fairy-type Team Star base over here. We decided not to take this one on last. I like doing this one last, though, because I think the story makes a little more sense if you do it this way. And also, the Team Star's Fairy Crew leader is kind of a little shit. So, like, it's just nice to... It's kind of like a Giovanni situation where it's just nice to, like, put him in his place right at the end of the storyline. So, we'll do that one last. But, as I said, we have to take on the finals first. And not the finals, like, you know, the Elite Four and Champion. The final exams. So we'll go take care of that to start with on the next episode of Pokemon Violet, the Stream Edition, which will be happening on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And once we're done with that, we already have our specialists ready to go for the Team Star base, so we'll go do that immediately after the finals are over. We'll be done with all of the objectives across the whole region at that point. And then all that's left is to train this team up until it's level 58. And once we're there, we're ready to take on the Elite Four and the Champion. And then from there, we'll get a lot of experience from the Elite Four. 58, by the way, is not like the highest level of the Elite Four and Champion, but by the time we finish the Elite Four, our Pokemon will be at about the level of the Champion's highest level Pokemon, if not a little lower. So it'll give us a little bit of a challenge at least. Maybe. I don't know that for sure. But anyway, yeah, so we'll take them on at about level 58, and yeah, that'll be probably like... It'll be the remainder of the next stream after we get done with doing the Team Starbase and the finals. And then it'll probably be a good chunk of the following stream, honestly. So apologies if you were looking for something more interesting going on. We have training to do, and it's going to take a while, unfortunately. But either way, thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you checking out the stream, and I'll see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, will be on Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Until then, everybody, take care, and have a good one. Snover, don't look. I'm about to commit a war crime. Now go, my child. Burn the whole mountain down. It's not burning, is it? They didn't program the snow to melt in this game. Disappointed!